We are live for coverage of the Ruoff Mortgage 500 at the Phoenix Raceway for the fourth round of the NASCAR Cup Series Racing Season 2022 edition. And we will take place with our live commentary today from the comfort of my own home, once again giving you guys the live commentary for today's action. Like, share, and most importantly, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do live commentary for the actual races on the weekend. Much more of them this year still to come. This is only number 3 of 22 on the season if you count the Busch Clash earlier this year, so still plenty more action of that still to come from all 3 series as well, not just the Cup Series. We will be doing more truck and Xfinity streams throughout the course of the year as well for the races I'm not going to in person, but glad to see you guys down in the chat. Dark Crypto NASCAR Fan 88 first in the chat. Welcome. I have my phone back this weekend, so we won't have any technical difficulties there with me trying to read the chat like I did last weekend when I didn't have it. And you guys will get to see, of course, the live scoring on the screen throughout the course of today's race as far as the lap times for each of your favorite drivers that will be running inside the top 30 today, and much more, obviously, outside of that. Any cautions that come out, you'll get to see who had brought out the yellow, all the laps led, and much more. All the statistical analysis throughout the course of today's race and live stream will be at your guys' expense. I'll actually enlarge the display capture screen for you guys a little bit better. Give me 1 second. Should be a little bit better. National Anthem has already gone away. The command is already gone underway. The drivers still have to roll their cars out onto the racetrack for their pace laps up to this point. Jay Harmon can't touch this. Welcome to the stream. He's got Kevin Harvey. Yeah, I want to see your guys' picks down in the chat before this race gets started, especially who do you think will win? My prediction to win the race is my guy, Ryan Blaney, today. He was fastest in qualifying, qualified on the pole. He was fastest in both rounds. He was fastest in the test session back in January as well here with the next-gen car at Phoenix. And he was also second fastest by only 9 1/1000ths of a second to his teammate Austin Cindric in practice also yesterday. So he is just fast all the way around with this next-gen car at Phoenix. And he also has 5 top 10s in the last 6 races here. He has finished in the top 6 4 of those last 6 races, including 2 third-place finishes and a 4th-place finish in that stretch. He finished 4th in the fall. Remember, he was the only non-Championship 4 driver that finished in the top 5 at Phoenix in the fall race last season, the season finale. Finished in 4th. R6 Billy Kramer, welcome. Closest to the pole position I can get is Bell's in-car camera. Well, that kind of stinks. Patrick Chatterley, welcome as well. Keegan's still greater than Danica. Yes, Danica Patrick is in the booth for Fox Sports once again today. We'll go through today's starting lineup, presented you by insert sponsor here. We are still sponsorless on the channel, but these streams are popping off, and I appreciate the support that all of you guys have given me to keep doing this on a weekly basis. I get excited for these streams, not only to watch the race, but to watch it with you guys, to give you guys the commentary and the feedback you guys give to me, not only on the commentary, but the race itself, everything that revolves around this stream in general, especially important and appreciative of it. We'll go through today's starting lineup, though. Anyway, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin will be on the front row. Blaney looking for his first win at the racetrack, his first pole of the 2022 season. Denny Hamlin is a former winner at Phoenix. He won the fall race here to get into the Championship 4 in 2019 rather. William Byron and Christopher Bell will line up in row number 2, both also looking for the first wins at this racetrack. Bell, a pole a week ago, but 4th, pretty good in qualifying. He had a top 10 here in the fall last season. Eric Almirola, Chase Briscoe will line up in row number 3 for the All-SHR row. Eric Almirola is the only driver to score top 10s in all 3 Cup Series races this season. He'll look for a 4th today at a track that he is familiar with running well at. Kyle Larson and Austin Cindric will line up in row number 4. Cindric, the rookie, great this season to start off his rookie campaign. He has finished in the top 3 in the last 3 Xfinity Series races here, a second by a nose in the fall last season, and 2 wins to back that up. Kyle Larson, the champion last season, won the championship race at Phoenix. Look out for him today to try and win again at this flat 1-mile racetrack. Alex Bowman and Joey Logano will line up in road number 5. We talked about Bowman in the pre-race. He has struggled at Phoenix. No top 10s in the last 8 starts. He'll try to get that one here today. Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick will be in row number 6. Reddick also off to a hot start this season. Finally got that first top 10 of the year at Vegas last year. We'll see if he can progress forward for his first top 5. Austin Dillon and Eric Jones will line up in row number 7. Jones has also impressed this season with a top 5 at Auto Club and ran 8th place before wrecking with a couple laps to go at Vegas last week. He'll look for a quick turnaround and another top 10 performance today. Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick will line up in row number 8. Harvick, the all-time winningest driver and most laps led in Phoenix Raceway history, with 1,600 plus laps led in 9 career wins at the racetrack. Look out for Harvick today as well to have a solid run. He was one of our picks to have a top 10 by the end of the race. Ross Chastain and Brad Keselowski will be in row number 9. Keselowski's been off to a rough start this season as far as getting in incidents. He's been involved in 5 incidents in the first 3 races. We'll see if he can stay out of trouble today. Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. will line up in row 10. 2 winners of this racetrack in recent years. Elliott, the champion, and the championship race winner in 2020. Truex, the spring race winner last season, the defending winner of this race. Ty Dillon and Michael McDowell will line up in row number 11 and row number 12. McDowell, also a Arizona native, to say the least. We'll see if he can have a good run at his home track. And row number 12, it'll be Daniel Suarez and rookie Harrison Burton. Burton trying to turn things around outside the top 30 in points coming into today's race. Cole Custer, Chris Buescher will line up in row number 13. Custer looking for another solid run. He's off to a good start with SHR this season. Bubba Wallace, Justin Haley in row 14. Bubba Wallace nearly got a top 10 last week, was running there most of the day. Unfortunately got caught up in a late incident. This is a track, or at least style of racetrack, which he tends to run well at on the short tracks. AJ Allmendinger, Corey LaJoie will be in row 15. Allmendinger making a start for Colleague Racing. He's running part-time this season in that 16 car, his first start this year. And row number 16 will be Landon Castle and Cody Ware. Castle also running part-time. He's ran a lot of races already this season with Spire Motorsports. He'll run another today. Todd Gilliland, another rookie in the field, will line up behind those guys in row number 17 with BJ McLeod. Garrett Smithley and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will round out the field. Stenhouse was not able to qualify after wrecking yesterday in practice, or making modifications prior to qualifying to where he could not qualify that race car. 10 people watching in the early going of this stream. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in for this live commentary live stream today. We had a stream record last week for the most amount of people ever watching a stream on this channel of over 400. We'll see if we can hit the 500 marker today for this live commentary race at Phoenix. Race statistics: 312 laps, 500 kilometers for the Ruoff Mortgage 500. Again, pole sitter is Ryan Blaney. First stage is going to be much shorter than the second 2 stages in length. We'll take a look at more of those race stats here in a moment when Fox is able to pull up the graphic on my behalf. Just a reminder, can't show you the live race itself, but the live commentary, I will do the best I can to paint the picture for you guys, whether you're able to watch it at home or not. Craig Franklin, welcome to the stream as well. I feel like going to use up all your Larson picks too quickly in the season. Oh, geez. Joey must have a good day. He's had some good runs this season. I'd say his teammates have been faster than him so far this weekend. Cindric and Blaney both qualified better than him and were faster than him in practice. It's like some overcast or partly cloudy conditions on the racetrack today, maybe cooling the track temps down just a bit in the desert. Alex Bowman's best finish at this racetrack, as Fox stated, is 6th, but again, he was our pick and the only pick on the Don't Haves list that I predicted not to get a top 10 today. He has failed to do so in the last 8 Phoenix starts. He did qualify 9th today, but he was also 19th in practice, so maybe the car is more on the trimmed outside like we've seen from some other drivers in other races this season, where they qualify up towards the front and then they kind of drop to the back at the start of the race and then have to work themselves forward as they try to get accustomed to the race car and get the car handling the way they would want it to go. They'll be getting the 1-to-go signal this time by, I'd have to imagine, as the drivers are on the track after going down the pit lane the lap before. Don't believe there's any rain in the forecast, but the clouds have definitely covered the Phoenix Raceway so far. Your dad's listening to the commentary for the first time today. Oh, hey, appreciate it. Tell him thanks for listening or tuning in. It's critical knowing that they return here for the championship later this season. Exactly. This is maybe a testament to who can perform well in the championship race here later this season. Not too many racetracks with this style like the Phoenix layout has. I guess the closest track to it would probably be Richmond, but Richmond's surface is a lot older than Phoenix. A lot more wear and tear at Richmond. Harrison Burton will be dropping to the rear of the field today. Unapproved body modifications in the pre-race inspection. 74 degrees also is the temperature, track temp at 105. Winds only down to 5 miles an hour. The forecast is sunny. It is overcast right now at least. The lights are out on the pace car as well as the pace car pulls into the pit lane. A very long pit road at Phoenix as they're still just getting off of turn 2 on my end. Down the old front stretch, the newer back stretch. Ashton G, welcome to the stream as well. Love how they've done NASCAR.com on the board cameras, leaderboard, and lap counter. Yep. 60 laps in Stage 1, shorter than what it has been in years past. 125 in Stage 2. Final stage will be 127. Pit road speed at 45 miles an hour. Fuel window, 88 to 92 laps. Green flag is in the air. We're underway at Phoenix. One car all the way down to the apron near the inside wall is Christopher Bell. Sorry, no, that is Kyle Busch, also running a DeWalt paint scheme this weekend. Tried to gain some positions early on, 3 wide with a couple of the SHR cars that started in row 3 to his outside of Almirola and Briscoe. At the front of the field, Ryan Blaney got a much better jump than Denny Hamlin into turns 1 and 2 to take over the race lead and lead lap 1 at Phoenix with William Byron and Denny Hamlin side by side for second behind him. Kyle Busch again going really down low onto the apron on the front stretch where the dogleg / kink is as he continues to stay 3 wide. Briscoe is clear of those guys now, and it's Austin Cindric in that third and higher lane. Cindric bobbles a bit off the exit of turn 2, keeps it off the wall, and keeps the hammer down on the throttle, and remains to the outside of Eric Almirola, who's sandwiched in the middle with nowhere to go but to back out of the gas and let both Cindric and Busch ahead of him. Busch does not go down to the apron this time, but will stay alongside the 2 as the 24 and the 20 of Bell as well side by side for third as Hamlin has broken free from William Byron. Bell on the outside, Byron on the inside as they work their way down the backstretch into turn 3. Blaney with about a half a second lead over Denny Hamlin early on, and this battle for third's going on 1 second even behind the race leader. Bell is clear off of turn 4 with the run and the momentum off the high side with that grip strip, I guess you would call it, of that PJ1 attraction compound up there. We'll see that be used by many drivers throughout the course of the day, especially as it gains rubber throughout the course of today's event. So remember, the Truck Series did not race here this weekend like they do in the fall, so maybe for the start of this race, not as much rubber laid down there as what you would have saw here in the championship race last season. Kyle Busch and Austin Cindric side by side for position still as they've been side by side for a good 3 to 4 laps now, really since Busch went down to the apron to take it 3 wide, and then of course they cleared Almirola in the process. Bowman, who I mentioned would not finish in the top 10 and would drop to the back off the early going of the race, is not dropping to the back, at least for right now, holding the track position in the 8th spot. Blaney is slowly pulling away from Denny Hamlin as well, up to about a 9/10 of a second lead, as he seems to be about a half a tenth or so quicker a lap. I don't know why Busch is in the DeWalt scheme this weekend. It threw me off because I called him Christopher Bell and I forgot he was in the DeWalt scheme. I saw that a couple days ago and it just looks odd. Christopher Bell running the Rheem paint scheme this weekend. Same one he won in last season at the Daytona Road Course. And Blaney the odds-on favorite, at least in my book, for this weekend. Sad to say, I unfortunately did not put money on him this weekend like I usually do with my race win picks, and watch this week be the week I actually predict a winner correctly this season. We're only 3 races in, so I'm not upset about not predicting the right winner in the first 3 races. Yeah, again, no out of bounds down low through the dog leg. You'll see drivers, especially on restarts, try to take that inside lane. Cars maybe going to have perhaps more control on the short tracks this season with the lack of horsepower, similar downforce to what we've seen in years past, but we had a 750 horsepower engine package for the most recent 4 races at Phoenix with the low downforce. Lap times are down just a bit from where they were, about 0.8 of a second off the fastest cars in qualifying this weekend compared to qualifying last year in the championship race. Tyler Reddick has quickly moved inside the top 10 and battles Alex Bowman for the 9th position. They're side by side into turn 1 after Reddick had a great run off the exit of turn 4. Reddick to the bottom lane, the passing lane, slides up on Bowman and clear. Bowman tried to undercut the corner to get the crossover back to the inside of Reddick, but had a failed attempt in doing so. Kyle Larson rocking the beautiful Valvoline paint scheme this weekend. I really loved that scheme last year for whatever reason. It looks very old-fashioned. Gives me that retro-style paint scheme feel. And I think it actually looks really good on the next-gen car this weekend as well. Remember, Larson qualified outside the top 15. He was back in row 10 for the start of this race, as well as Martin Truex Jr. Larson is dropping backwards. He's in the 26th position as of right now early in this race. And Martin Truex Jr. is still sitting in 19th, right around where he qualified. Fox going to a commercial break for the first time today, so we'll take a running order look on lap number 12 here at Phoenix. Ryan Blaney leads by 1.5 seconds over Denny Hamlin in second. William Byron in third place, currently sitting 2.3 seconds off the race lead. Christopher Bell is 3.9 seconds off the lead in fourth. Chase Briscoe rounds out the top 5, 4.2 seconds back. Briscoe actually is now just past Bell for fourth place on the racetrack that last lap. Kyle Busch sits in 6th, Joey Logano in 7th, Austin Cindric in 8th, right where he qualified, Tyler Reddick up to 9th, and Alex Bowman remains rounding out the top 10. Eric Almirola has dropped back a bit. He is in 11th. Kevin Harvick up a bit, up to 12th. Austin Dillon 13th, Kurt Busch 14th, Ross Chastain rounds out the top 15. 2020 champion Chase Elliott in 16th, Eric Jones 17th, Daniel Suarez 18th, Martin Truex Jr. 19th, and Ty Dillon rounds out the top 20 with Brad Keselowski 21st, Bubba Wallace 22nd, Kyle Larson 23rd, Michael McDowell, Arizona native 24th, Chris Buescher rounds out the top 25, Cole Custer 26th, AJ Allmendinger 27th, Justin Haley 28th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 29th, and Corey LaJoie rounds out the top 30. Harrison Burton back at 31st after starting at the rear of the field. Another rookie behind him, Ty Gillen in 32nd, Landon Castle 33rd, Cody Ware 34th, Garrett Smithley 35th, and BJ McLeod rounds out the field in 36th. All cars on the lead lap, at least for now, as they're about to get to BJ McLeod in the next lap or two to put him a lap down. He's 24 seconds off the race lead. Why does Fox do full commercials during green flag racing? Because they think we still live in the 90s and early 2000s for whatever reason. I don't know why. Monster Jam Dallas, welcome to the stream. Kyle Busch for the win is his pick. Not a bad one. He's on the move early. definitely making moves early. Fox coming back from the break as we speak. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. How many races do I have the 21 winning this year? I didn't have him winning any races this season. I had him not making the playoffs this year in my preseason predictions, so I'll stay to that. He's off to a much rougher start than I think most people would have expected this year. It's kind of a shame because he has had speed in some races, but not this weekend. Compared to the 3 Penske cars, he has been off of it. They made unapproved body modification, so sounds like they were trying to find something different, and they failed to make it out of inspection with that different change, so it is not a good weekend for Harrison Burton or any Wood Brother racing fans out there at Phoenix, at least early on. Battle for position right now. Kyle Busch working the outside to get around Christopher Bell. Logano to the inside as well as Bell starting to go backwards. He was battling for third place with Byron before they went to the break, and now he has lost 3 spots as Logano will clear him off the exit of turn 2. Sarita Cooper, welcome to the stream. Derek Booth, welcome as well. Of course, going back to the Wood Brothers as well, they're only 1 win away from 100. They've been stuck there since Ryan Blaney's Pocono win in 2017 had pushed them to 99. So a lot of fans wondering when that win number 100 will come and where it will come, and we'll just have to wait and see. Denny Hamlin up the middle 3 wide to hold on to his second place position on William Byron. The car that was on the outside was lap car BJ McLeod, who they have finally caught. Hamlin going down to the bottom to try and protect his position. Byron went just a hair below the apron in turns 1 and 2. Some contact between some SHR teammates on the back stretch off the exit of turn 2 a couple laps ago between Eric Almirola and Kevin Harvick as they battle just outside the top 10. They were still able to split Cindric 3 wide and get around him as Cindric is now dropped back to 14th in the early going of today's race. He was one of the dark horse / sleeper picks in the predictions before we went live for this live stream as well today. Bell continues to drop backwards now to 9th place as Alex Bowman has made the pass on him. Still 40 laps to go at Stage 1. Again, Stage 1 a lot shorter this year. They will not have to make a pit stop at all in this opening stage, nor did they have to last year, but this first stage is shorter by about 15 laps. And the laps click by pretty quickly at most short tracks. Phoenix is no exception. Comp Yellow will wave at lap 25. Again, I'm not sure why they have the competition cautions this year. I know it's for what they call tire management, wear inspection, whatever they want to call it, I guess. It stinks. It stinks that they have to have that with practice and qualifying back. You would think with practice and qualifying back that they wouldn't have any competition cautions, but... And they had tests here. They had next-gen tests at Phoenix barely over a month ago. So it's even more so than Vegas. They probably shouldn't even have the Comp Yellow today. But I'm not going to get into great detail. I did that last weekend. This was a much miniature rant, I guess, compared to usual. Are you doing this for Atlanta? No, I will be at Atlanta next week for the Cup race. I'm not going there for the Xfinity or the truck race. I don't think Xfinity race is next week. I don't think the trucks race there next week, though. But I will not be there for... No, wait, no. I think it's a triple header. I think I remember hearing it was a triple header next week. Anyway, I'll only be there for the Cup race, but no, next live stream will be the week after at COTA. Be doing this for most of the races I'm not going to this year, but I'll be at Atlanta. It'll be the 3rd race I've gone to early in the season. Chase Elliott is on the move forward after starting back in the 17th position. He's inside the top 10, passing Christopher Bell, who continues to go backwards. Compared to Bell's teammates, Denny Hamlin in the top 5, Busch is in the top 5, and then Truex just way off on speed compared to everybody else. He's right where he started, still in 19th as they get to the competition caution. But first chance to make some changes today with the Comp Yellow coming out Looks like a pretty good crowd on hand for the Phoenix race, considering that this is the championship race, and the championship race seems to sell out. I don't know if they sold out this weekend, but it looks pretty full. Seen some pretty full grandstands, at least for the Cup races, pretty much, I'd say, in the first 4 races this year, and even pretty good in the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum as well. So great to see the fans coming out to the races in person to start this season in 2022. Sully AP, Sergino Fernandez, welcome to the stream. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Wood Brothers will get their 100th win eventually. I don't know if it's going to be this year, though. Who was my preseason champion pick? Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott was my preseason championship pick this year. Everybody, I'm sure, will come into the pits this time. I'm not saying that just because Larry McReynolds said it in my ear either. I kind of figured they were going to pit. It's usually on competition cautions you see drivers pit. They don't have to take fuel here, but I think there's enough laps on their tires, and Phoenix has just enough tire wear that it will matter. A lot of stress will be put on that right front tire throughout the course of today's race with the flatter racetrack, so definitely going to be seeing some pit stops. I don't know if we're going to see 4 tire stops all the way through, but we'll definitely be seeing some pit stops. So Blaney's 2-second lead will disappear for now. We saw Christopher Bell lose a bunch of spots on pit road during the Comp Yellow last week, and he never got back to the lead in the race. Now, I do think Blaney's car this week is faster than Bell's car last week, but we'll see if the 12th team can win the race off pit road. It's interesting because Blaney's pit crew has not been great this season. Auto Club, they lost over 30 positions total in that race. Benefit, though, this weekend he'll have that number 1 pit box. We'll see how much of an advantage that will take for himself. It's like right side tires only for Joey Logano. We'll see if more of the Penske teams will do the same. 4 tires for Alex Bowman as he's in his box. Ryan Blaney will take on 4, so this may win Joey Logano the race off of pit road if he is the only one or one of the front drivers to take 2. And no, Blaney still wins the race off pit road with the 4-tire stop, despite the fact Logano was in 6th place when the Comp Yellow came out and took right side tires only, so Blaney will be the control car on the restart. Kyle Busch loses a ton of spots on pit road, some sort of an issue there. More on that when Fox comes back from the commercial break. 41 people watching right now. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Not sure how many likes we're at. I have to literally back out to refresh. 11 likes right now. Definitely smash that like button. Our goal is going to be 100 again today. We did that last weekend. I think we had like 145. We should be able to get the likes up on this stream. See any driver switching team mid-season? No. When was the last time we even saw that? You usually don't see that anymore. Outside of like injuries, which I wouldn't count. Outside of injuries, I can't even recall the last time there's been a mid-season driver change, to be completely honest. Jacob Hale, welcome to the stream. Anyone notice that Fox hasn't been putting pit times on the screen? Yeah, I noticed that here, and that's why I couldn't give you guys any information on that, and that honestly stinks. Celine66, welcome to the stream. McDowell, Stenhouse, Blaney, Hamlin, all speeding penalty. Oh, man, well, that sucks. I unfortunately have not been able to give you guys that confirmation yet, but a little bit of delay on my end with Hulu, so I apologize for that. I'm trying to listen to the commentary as much as possible. When I'm talking, I may miss some things, but I'm doing the best I can. No say K, Point Air Gaming, welcome to the stream. 54 people watching right now. Again, thanks for everybody who are just tuning in. We are under the competition caution, about to head to the green flag as Fox is coming back from the commercial break. And actually, what's in my ear is delayed even more than what I'm actually watching, giving you guys a live commentary because I don't want their commentary to interrupt my commentary, so that way I can make it as authentic as possible. So in segment 2, Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney were both caught speeding. That's unfortunate for Blaney. I'm telling you guys, the competition caution should not be a thing. As a Blaney fan, I'm frustrated with the fact that there is a competition caution, that he was put in that situation because he had a 2-second lead, but it is what it is, and Ryan Blaney did not follow the rules on pit road. He sped just as well as Hamlin, so Logano will be the control car in the restart. Green flag back in the air. Logano, the only driver in the top portion of the field that took 2 tires, that I know of at least, and he ended up leading on the restart, picking the inside lane. Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick side by side for second place with William Byron behind him. Bad run off the exit of turn 2 for Reddick as he starts to go backwards. Briscoe get a look to the outside in turns 3 and 4. On the corner panel of Joey Logano, Briscoe looking for the lead, the defending Rookie of the Year champion. Byron in another side-by-side battle for a third-place position on a restart. He still has Reddick underneath him. Logano still holding on to the lead. Squeezes the 14 of Briscoe, and Briscoe will haul right around him, finally clearing him off the exit of turn 2. Reddick had a chance to pull up clear on William Byron for third, did not do so, and as they are side-by-side, Elliott closes in 5th place behind him. Much better launch in turns 3 and 4 for William Byron up high on the grip strip, and he's able to finally clear Reddick for third place after Reddick had a chance to clear but didn't on the backstretch the lap prior. Blaney and Hamlin trying to make their charges from the back of the pack. We'll keep an eye on those guys as we have only 27 laps to go in stage 1 with the short 60-lap stage length in the opening stage of the race. Chase Elliott made a pass on Tyler Reddick for position. Fox missed it live. I'm just going to throw that out there. But he is up another spot and quickly pulls to the back bumper of his teammate William Byron, looking for third. Logano on those older left side tires holds on to second, but you can see Briscoe pulling away for those of you that are watching live. Yeah, 500 more to 2K. Less than 500 more to 2K. Westman, welcome to the stream. I try not to... Jacob Hale, welcome as well. Happy with Fox's presentation. I'm fine with the commentary. The production itself is just inferior. Yeah. It's, yeah, the commentating's not that bad. Blaney with a dive bomb move at the back of the pack on Ty Dillon and Eric Jones, a couple of the Petty GMS cars, and he makes the pass. He was about halfway between the yellow line on the inside, which is the, I guess, line that you would have the actual racing surface and the apron, and the wall on the inside. It's how low he was in turns 1 and 2, but he slides up clear, getting past as many of those slower cars as possible, and we'll see if he can get back in the top 10 as well as Hamlin before the stage comes to an end to at least salvage some sort of stage points in this race today. Blaney is already up to 22nd, Hamlin in 29th, now up to 28, just passing Michael McDowell. Chase Briscoe trying to win in what I believe would be his first career stage win if he can hold on for the next 23 laps. Logano still in second place, so that's allowing Briscoe to continue to pull away. Logano's on the bottom lane through turns 1 and 2 with Byron and Elliott more towards the outside right behind him. Top 5 as we run right now would be Chase Briscoe in the lead, Joey Logano second, William Byron third, Chase Elliott fourth, and Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 5. Big move, 3 wide on the inside after Kyle Busch had to check up off of turn 2 in the middle of the pack. Kevin Harvick made a couple passes, as well as Austin Cindric got by on the outside, and now Daniel Suarez works on the 18 of Busch. And Busch had to check up because he nearly gets into the side and actually did make contact with Tyler Reddick. Or, sorry, that is Austin Dillon, the other RCR car. So Dillon got loose off the exit of turn 2. Busch tried to check up. He couldn't. He got into the side of him. And that's why there was a little bit of a skirmish down the backstretch with cars passing the 18 as well as the 3 of Dillon. Martin Truex Jr. up 8 spots since the caution flag came out, now to 11th, battling Kyle Larson for 10th. And Larson, who was just barely inside the top 20 at the time of the competition yellow, already moving forward quickly as well, trying to win back-to-back races at Phoenix today. Resume Rizard, welcome to the stream. Cindric or Chastain? I have Austin Cindric finishing better today. As of right now, Chastain is currently in the top 10. Cindric is not. I did predict Cindric to get at least a top 10 finish today. He had a lot of speed coming into the weekend. He's currently 14th. But there's still a long race yet to go as we're only 40 laps complete out of 312. By the way, under that competition caution, Cody Ware got the free pass. Failed to mention that. But Cody Ware is, at least for now, back on the lead lap. Interesting fact, Mike Joy just dropped on the Fox broadcast, and that would be that Kevin Harvick, with one more top 10 today at Phoenix, would tie the all-time NASCAR record for the most consecutive top 10s at one specific racetrack. That is just insane. We mentioned in the pre-race he had 17 straight coming in. I had no clue he had any shot of any sort of record, though with that many top 10s in a row at a specific racetrack, you had to imagine that he was up for some sort of a record, which would only add to his records he has already set at Phoenix. Side-by-side coverage now from Fox as they head to the side-by-side commercial break. Here's running order of the top 10 as we're very late in stage 1, just 17 laps to go in the opening stage. Chase Briscoe still leads. He's 0.6 of a second ahead of Joey Logano. William Byron is in third, about 0.9 of a second off the lead. And it looks like we have a caution somewhere in the racetrack. I was just looking at the leaderboard. Sorry for that. I'm not sure what the caution is yet. We're waiting for it on my end. That was bad timing for that. Bad timing also for Fox to go to another side-by-side commercial break. Hopefully it's nothing major. The suspense is reeling in. Still waiting. Oh, jeez. You guys are saying LaJoy lost a tire? Yeah, I'm trying. I try not to look at the chat during, the actual race itself, so that way this kind of stuff doesn't happen. But I was looking at the leaderboard and the caution came out before I saw it. Man, am I really that far behind? Yeah, the caution's out now. Oh, wow, yeah, he legitimately lost a tire. I thought when you said that he blew a tire, the tire's literally off of the race car and has rolled into the inside retaining wall on the front stretch. And that will hand out some suspensions to that Spire Motorsports number 7 team, I'm sure. And that is not the first time we've seen this issue. There's a lot of load on the right front tire today, more so than any other racetrack we've been to this year with how flat it is. And it is more than just down to the rim on that 7 car as LaJoy will pull to the garage following his right front tire coming completely off the race car. This is a good timing caution for Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney to potentially pick up some more pit stops, or more stops, and we'll see if we see any pit stops during this caution flag with 14 laps to go in stage number 1. So the tire came off in a weird spot. They were right off the exit of the dog leg. A lot of debris being laid with that tire on the track. Cody Ware had actually ran completely over the tire. Wondering if there's any damage to the underneath portion of the 51 Chevrolet. And a pretty good lick into the wall for LaJoy as well. Adding insult to injury. Be interested to see if we see any more issues like that later today, especially with this happening so early and not that long after pit stops too. Looked like everybody else was able to steer clear of the debris. It was at the back of the pack, which probably helped, especially not long after the restart, so the leaders were really nowhere in vicinity of where the accident took place. Robert Davis, welcome to the stream. Not sure exactly what you're referring there in the chat, but welcome to the stream. Second caution of the day following the competition yellow. Again, Corey LaJoya slammed the wall in the middle, or I guess the short chute between the dog leg and turn one after his right front tire completely came off of his race car. Some drivers are going to be pitting inside the top 10. Ryan Blaney actually will come into the pits this time, so he'll lose more spots, sacrificing any shot he really had at stage points. My guess is everybody that is pitting now will stay out during the stage break. It'll be interesting to see if, when the stage break ends up coming out, if those drivers that stayed out this time will stay out again or not. So interesting strategy being put forward now. Oh, almost an accident on pit road. Chastain pulling out of his box as Harrison Burton in the Dex Imaging 21 car was coming in. And they nearly made contact. Evasive maneuver by Chastain to get on the brakes and miss him. That was a very close call. Definitely some splitter damage to Cody Ware, and again, the underbody is what I'm most concerned about, with the tire just completely going underneath. I'm showing the replay of the near accident between the 21 and the 1. That could have been a dangerous situation for those crew members down there, but luckily they got through with no contact whatsoever. And we'll be coming to the restart when Fox comes back from their commercial break. Jace W., welcome to the stream. How many left in stage 1? Right now there's 10, but they're still under the caution flag. This caution waved with about 14 laps to go in the stage. 15 to be exact. And the 15 car will get the free pass as well. That is driven by Garrett Smithley this weekend. So Garrett Smithley will get the free pass following this, and that means that BJ McLeod, who is the only other car one lap down, will likely get the free pass when we get back to racing and then get to that stage break, which will be coming very shortly after the restart. So again, the top 10 is Chase Briscoe, William Byron, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, the top 5, and then Bowman in 6th, Christopher Bell 7th, Kyle Larson 8th, Martin Truex Jr. 9th, and Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 10 in stage number 1. Those drivers will be competing for stage points as well as those behind them. Started GoFundMe for the 17 to help pay for the penalty. Yeah, that's probably going to be anywhere, between a $50,000 to $100,000 fine, I think, is the, and then a minimum 4 to 6 race suspension, I think we've seen, or no, it's minimum, I think 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 race suspension for 1 or 2 crew members. It's unfortunate. It's probably going to be the 2 crew members that were involved with the right front, or maybe the front tire changer and the tire carrier, I would have to imagine. It's unfortunate, especially to see for a smaller team like Spire Motorsports. And that happened within the first 10 laps after the restart. So very odd that ended up actually happening the way it did. Jacob Hale says he's 2 laps ahead. Yeah, on the short tracks, you're probably going to be further ahead than the intermediates or super speedways that we'll be commentating going forward. If you want to sync it up, you can always pause and wait for the timing to get there or not. But that's why I try not to look at the chat during the actual commentating portion of it. I try as best as possible as well to shout you guys out that are tuning in for the first time. But that would be why. On the front row, it'll be Chase Briscoe, William Byron on the restart. Byron on the inside, Briscoe on the outside. Logano on those 2 tires will be in row 2 on the outside with Elliott on the bottom. Green flag is back in the air. A lot of cars going down to the apron. Nearly the whole field down to the apron, into the dog leg. And they're 4 wide into turns 1 and 2 with Bowman, Reddick, Logano, and Briscoe. Elliott is going to be able to move up to second potentially, but he's not clear on the 14 of Briscoe yet. Still 4 wide, 5 wide at the back of the pack. Blaney and Chastain are in the middle of it. Denny Hamlin is as well. Contact between Chastain and Blaney in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Still 4 wide off the exit of the corner as they try to funnel down and file out, but they are struggling to do so. With the contact, everybody keeps control of their race cars. At least for now, there's a little bit of a scuff right around the left rear tire of Blaney. Won't have to worry about a tire going down with the composite bodies, luckily, but definitely a sketchy situation in the middle to back of the pack on the restart with those that are trying to take advantage of their fresh tires that pitted during the caution. William Byron is the leader by about 2 to 3 car lengths over Chase Briscoe, who led before that last caution. Blaney is already up to 17th after pitting and taking on the 4 tires. He may have a shot to get inside the top 10 for stage points. Kyle Larson moving forward as well as he's on the inside of Joey Logano for 7th. Again, Logano on only 2 tires, still on the older left side, so you can assume that he will definitely be pitting during the stage break. As for everybody else, of the drivers who already just pitted during that last caution, again, I expect them to stay out, but the drivers who stayed out during that last yellow, it's going to be interesting to see if they pit or not. I think some probably will and some won't. Byron is slowly pulling away from Briscoe, now to a half a second lead. Chase Elliott is still about 2 to 3 car lengths behind Briscoe in second place as well, but is slowly closing in. 4 laps to go in stage number 1. Bowman hanging on in the top 5 right now. Be interesting to see what he does in heavier traffic, assuming he will pit during the stage break. Blaney now has already gotten inside the top 15. He's up to 14th place after the restart. Few laps still to get around, a couple more cars to get inside the top 10. He's got Cindric, Kurt Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and Austin Dillon to pass. Next closest on 4 tires behind him is Kyle Busch in 17th, and then Ross Chastain in 19th. Hero O'Brien, welcome to the stream. Thanks for that comment as well, Brian Wilson. Sirius XM channel on NASCAR. Or Sirius XM NASCAR channel, sorry. Not on NASCAR, it would be on Sirius XM. Harvick and Logano now side by side for position. Larson was able to clear Logano a couple laps ago for that spot. Logano just trying to hold on to a top 10 finish in the stage now on those older left side tires. Final lap of stage 1 for William Byron as he is pulled ahead. He's got an 0.8 of a second lead over Briscoe, who now has Elliott on his back bumper into turns 1 and 2 as they battle for second place. 9 stage points on the line, compared to 8 in that battle for second place. Elliott went to the bottom. Briscoe also went to the bottom that time to try and protect. I'm sure they will both run the same lane again through turns 3 and 4 as Briscoe tries to mirror drive. Briscoe on the bottom, Elliott on the bottom. Elliott will not be able to get around him. Meanwhile, at the front, William Byron will win stage 1 at Phoenix. So Byron is a stage 1 winner. Chase Briscoe will finish second in the stage. Chase Elliott third. Tyler Reddick fourth. Alex Bowman rounds out the top 5 in stage 1. Christopher Bell 6th. Kyle Larson, the defending champion, 7th. Kevin Harvick 8th. Joey Logano held on for 9th. And Austin Dillon will round out the top 10 in stage 1. Blaney will likely get to restart in the lead, assuming everybody who did not pit during that restart or during that caution flag will pit during the stage break, as Blaney is the highest running of the drivers who just pit. Kyle Busch will likely be in second. But we'll just have to wait and see who will all pit and who will not, just to be safe. I think Denny Hamlin back in the chat again. He's sad. I think he's sad about Hamlin not being in the top 10 right now, but he pitted for tires during that last caution, so he'll probably be restarting inside the top 10, I would have to assume. Told you the Hendrick Chevys were tough. Yeah, but most of the Fords pit there too, so It's early in the race. We're only 60 laps complete. Again, stage 1 was only 60 laps, 125 laps in stage 2 and 127 in stage 3. We'll have to see at least one pit stop, one pit stop at least in the second 2 stages. With the pit window being 88 to 92 laps, according to Fox's Larry McReynolds. Already over 80 people watching in a very short stage 1. We'll see if we can set a stream record again today. Last weekend we had over 400 people watching, so definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm not sure where we're at. Let me refresh it. We are up to only 22 likes, but 80 people watching, so definitely hit that like button and definitely subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. If you're liking this live stream, we do this for every race that I pretty much don't go to in person. I'll be at Atlanta next week, so we won't be having any live commentary at Atlanta for the Super Speedway race next weekend, but we will be back for COTA the week after with the live commentary for the Cup race that weekend. So again, no live commentary next weekend, but we will be having it on the following Sunday at Circuit of the Americas. We've already done the Busch Clash live commentary this year. We did Las Vegas last week. I was at Daytona for the 500 and for all speed weeks. I was at Auto Club for the Cup race the week after, and I'll be at Atlanta for the Cup race there. And then we'll pretty much have a few consecutive weeks after I get back from Atlanta. We'll have COTA. I know Martinsville's on the schedule somewhere in there too. Can't think of the actual 2022 schedule off the top of my head, but I know there's a big stretch of races. Talladega's going to be in there before I go to my next race. The next race I'm going to will be Easter Sunday at Dirt Bristol. I'll be there for the Cup race that weekend. Trey Phillips, welcome to the stream. Hello from Ohio. Welcome, local Ohioan. Anyone going to Talladega for the Geico 500? I'll be at Talladega for the fall race later this year. I was at the Dega spring race last year and the fall race the year before that. So again, BJ McLeod did get the free pass during the stage break. As we mentioned, he probably would have. He was the only car one lap down. William Byron will lead a long line of cars onto pit road. As mentioned, Blaney would stay out along with Kyle Busch. So everybody that stayed out during that last caution will pit now, and everybody that pitted during the last yellow for 4 tires will stay out. They only have about 8 laps on their tires. Not a bad strategy. Tire wear not going to be as big as what it was at Las Vegas and Auto Club the last couple weeks, but it still will be an emphasis here, so we'll see how much of a difference 8 laps will make on some of the faster cars on the field like Blaney and Busch. Sure, mostly 4-tire stops for everybody here, considering everybody that will restart in front of them had 4 tires with only 8 laps on them. Chase Elliott will win the race off of pit road. Chase Briscoe behind him. Byron loses 3 spots in the pits. Tyler Reddick up a spot as well. Harvick up 3 spots. Bowman down 2. Looks like there were some problems trying to get the right front tire on Christopher Bell's number 20 ream machine. Wasn't locked on tight, so that's why he lost a bunch of spots on pit road. So Bell going to come from deep in the field on the restart. Going on a cross-country trip in October. Also planning on the Bristol night race. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was at Bristol last year. That was a blast. I'll be there for the dirt race, but not for the night race this season. Maybe you'll see me at Atlanta. Be in the garage loading tires for Goodyear. I won't be in the infield though. I've only ever been in the infield for one race. That was for the truck race at Daytona a couple weeks ago. I don't have any media access. I don't know who I have to. I mean, I'm sure I could find a way to maybe reach out to get some media access, but the channel hasn't really grown until just before the offseason, though. Well, extremely since just before the offseason. The end of last year, it's really started to grow quite a bit. I don't know how much of a following I'd have to get more of it. And it was my first time, so I didn't want to record there because I wanted to get the full experience first and make sure I knew where I was going and stuff. Because Cup Series practice was going on when I first got in there. And then right before the race, I went up into my seats. Right before the national anthem. Blaney did not pit. Blaney will be the leader on the restart. Phil, AP Sports, welcome to the stream, guys. Yeah, Blaney pitted during the LaJoie caution, so he will restart in the lead. Kyle Busch will be on the front row as well. Those two stayed out. Cole Custer stayed out. Harrison Burton stayed out. So the top four were the only drivers who stayed out of the pits. We're taking the four tires, the pit stop before. There were more drivers at pit also, but I think maybe the handling of the cars weren't as great, like Denny Hamlin. He still decided to pit, so he'll be 19th on the restart. May have had some damage they might have wanted to fix up. Remember, he was 5 wide on the restart. Blaney and Chastain made a bit of contact with each other. Chastain was also a driver who pitted, and maybe he felt that he had some damage around the right front that he wanted to, out of safety precautions, come to pit road and not risk blowing a tire. But Blaney, who was in the middle of the Chastain contact, it was Chastain's right front to Blaney's left rear. Blaney's still on the track. Seems to be running all right. 107 people watching. We are only just about to get into stage 2. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. And live commentary coverage throughout the course of this season and other seasons to follow. We only did 12 races last year, so I'm excited by almost doubling down on that this year. You guys seem to like it. Last season we had good viewership as well at the end of the year, and we already you guys have knocked it out of the park with just the viewership alone. That's not on me. Well, I mean, it's on me to produce the good content, but it's on you guys for clicking, watching, staying around and watching. So again, can't appreciate you guys enough for supporting me and hopefully, potentially, helping me live my dream of commentating real races in NASCAR down the line. Yeah, save it. Yeah, that commercial's playing for me right now. I was ignoring the fact right now. I'll wait for Blaney. Well, Blaney is in the lead right now. Yeah, he's in the lead. He's saving at the pump. Is there anything Ryan Blaney can't do wrong right now? He saved at the pump. The pump. He's gonna mention the cringe of that commercial. I think it's hilarious. I wish we had more NASCAR commercials like that. I'm all for NASCAR having funny, commercials like that. That's where the drivers need to show their personality side and their humor, not Fox on the pre-race. Rest in peace to the real-life cutaway car, yeah. I remember Jeff Hammond back in the day with the cutaway car. Outside the Hollywood Hotel, both those things are gone now. It's crazy. It's crazy. I guess we have the technology. We might as well use it. So top 3 cars on the outside are all the drivers who stayed out of the pits of Kyle Busch, Cole Custer, and Harrison Burton. Blaney, the only car who stayed out of the pits on the inside. They have about 8 laps on their tires. Chase Elliott will be on the inside lane behind Blaney. I would not be surprised if he tries to get that better launch in the restart zone, and then when they get across the start-finish line to make the dive 3 wide on the apron. We'll see. Green flag is back in the air. And he will wait to hit the start-finish line. Now he'll try to drop low, but it's Briscoe who will drop even lower. A better launch by Briscoe will clear Elliott into turn 1. Elliott did not take off well at all, like originally expected. 3x3 through the field off the exit of turn 2, as they're going to have to try to funnel down into turn 3, and they do mostly side by side. Except for Cindric, who's still underneath both Logano and Truex, 3 wide back around 12th. Kyle Busch holds on to second place. Got a major run off the exit of turn 4 on the grip strip on the outside. So did Chase Elliott to follow him to third place, as Briscoe now has dropped back to fourth. Blaney quickly has about a 0.3 of a second lead over Kyle Busch. He tries to hold back Elliott and a couple of the other Hendrick drivers. Byron now will cross over for fourth place on Chase Briscoe. Attempted to at least, but was unable to do so. It definitely seems like the outside is a lot more preferred in turns 3 and 4 than what it is in 1 and 2. In the early going, drivers will try to drop down below and fail to make the pass. The outside with that more banking in turns 3 and 4 compared to 1 and 2, I think is the major difference there. 1 and 2 definitely seems to be the passing corner. 3 and 4 is the defending corner if you're on the outside. Especially with the apron and all that room on it to be able to cut in the dogleg to make the passes. Heading into turn 1 would also help the passing opportunities in turns 1 and 2, especially on the restarts. So after Byron was not able to get around Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick tried to hop all over Byron for position. They've been side by side for about a lap and a half, and still side by side until they get to the start-finish line, where Byron is able to close off the 8 of Reddick. Truex and Cindric are still side by side like they were on the restart. I don't know if they broke apart from one another and then got back together again, or if they're still side by side, but finally Truex will pull clear off of turn 2 at lap 74. That battle was for 13th. So a couple changes on the pit crew for Christopher Bell, according to Jamie Little at Fox with the pit road reporting that maybe had played into effect inexperience, especially with the single lug. Completely different from years past, or really anything in the past when it comes to NASCAR and pit stops. And in a pressure-packed one there under caution, they were unable to succeed, and Bell is paying the price for it. He's currently back in the 18th position, trying to work his way back inside the top 10. He had qualified inside the top 5 earlier in the race today. He qualified 4th and kind of dropped back into the back half of the top 10 before the competition caution. So he's going to have a hard time trying to work his way forward if they can't get that car handling the way Bell wants to throughout the course of this race today. I feel like Blaney has the perfect car. Not so much long or short, it seems like. Yeah, I know. We haven't had an extremely long run yet with the competition caution coming out at about lap 30, but 30 or 25 rather. But we'll see if we have a longer green flag run of about 50 plus laps, if Blaney is going to be able to hold on, or if other drivers are going to be able to get up there. And the fact that Blaney has 8 lap older tires, and say Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Byron Reddick, all those guys from basically third on back to Custer and 10th would be the next guy you would have on those older tires who stayed out of the restart. But even Blaney is pulling away from Kyle Busch consistently. He's 1.8 seconds ahead of him. Chase Elliott is working on Kyle Busch right now. They're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Down the back stretch, Elliott not aggressive with the side draft that time. Busch should get the run off the exit of turns 3 and 4 on that higher lane. Elliott rounds out the corner and actually clears Kyle Busch. Got a little sideways as he wiggled up the racetrack, but he cleared the 18. No crossover attempt that time for Busch. He'll want to stay on the outside lane and try to protect from maybe William Byron or Chase Briscoe closing in. But meanwhile, those guys are battling for position. They're not really going to close in on the 18 or the 9 anytime soon with that battle going on. Kevin Harvick and the Hunt brothers 4 for Stewart Haas Racing is up to 6th place. He was one of the drivers to watch today. He didn't qualify well. He was well outside the top 10, qualified 16th, but he is working his way forward. The car maybe not on the trimmed outside, but in race trim, it seems to be pretty sporty early on. Harvick, a 9-time winner at Phoenix, over 1,600 laps led, most all-time of any current or former driver. in both of those categories. He has 6 wins in the last 17 races in which he has finished in the top 10 consecutively. 5 top 12s to go on with it. It's been 8 races since his last win at the racetrack, but the consistency is insane and just completely uncomparable to any other driver or even any other driver at any other track. Harvick at Phoenix is just instant success. And more green flag full screen commercials. Well, with that being said, and with Fox going on that commercial break right now as we speak, we'll take a rundown of the running order in stage number 2. Ryan Blaney is your leader. He's so far led 48 laps in today's race. Chase Elliott will be in second. William Byron lining up in third. Kyle Busch in fourth, with Kevin Harvick now making the pass as they went to the commercial break to round out the top 5. Tyler Reddick is up to 6th. Briscoe is falling back to 7th. Joey Logano in 8th. Kyle Larson 9th. And Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10. Cole Custer in 11th. Austin Cindric in 12th. Martin Truex Jr. 13th. Austin Dillon 14th. Ross Chastain rounds out the top 15 positions. It'll be Denny Hamlin in 16th, Christopher Bell 17th, Kurt Busch 18th, and Harrison Burton 19th, with Ty Dillon rounding out the top 20. Eric Almirola 21st, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 22nd, Chris Buescher 23rd, rookie Todd Gilliland 24th, Justin Haley 25th, Brad Keselowski 26th, Eric Jones 27th, Daniel Suarez 28th, AJ Allmendinger 29th, Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 30. And 31st is Michael McDowell, Landon Castle 32nd, Cody Ware 33rd, Garrett Smithley 34th, BJ McLeod 35th, and then Corey LaJoie, the only car out of the race today, had that right front tire fall off. He's 41 laps down and out of the race in last. There's your 36-car field and the full race leaderboard as we are at lap 86 of 312 early in stage number 2. William Byron was also the stage 1 winner. 5 different drivers have led in the race today. Larson really only led during caution laps. He led 2 there. The drivers that lead under green flag conditions are Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney, with Blaney by far leading the most now with 51 laps led and counting in a 2.2 second lead over Chase Elliott. It's family time. Welcome to the stream. It is family time. Family and NASCAR, what could go wrong? Unless your favorite drivers are battling for the win against each other, I can see it getting a little hostile, but excluding that, what could go wrong? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as well. Live commentary of full races like this one here today. Going forward, we still have 19 more this season. This is only the 3rd this year, if you count the Busch Clash. Appreciate all just over 100 of you guys watching. 34 likes so far. Our goal is 100. Mentioned in the pre-race, Ryan Blaney had a car that was built from God himself this weekend, and I predicted not only for him to win the race, but this would be the most dominating race in Ryan Blaney's career if he goes on to win today, considering how fast that car looked in practice and qualifying, and I would not be surprised if it was the same car they had in the next gen test here, considering that he was fastest in the next gen test at Phoenix as well. They have found something with the setup at Phoenix, and he looks unbeatable early on in this race today. I predicted him to win at least one of the first 2 stages. He had that pit road speeding penalty, which took him out of a shot to win stage 1 during the pit stops under the competition caution, but he's back out in front right now. And even when Chase Elliott taking over second place on about 8-lap fresher tires, he's still pretty much maintaining, if not pulling away from Elliott at a 2.3 second lead currently. Kevin Harvick is moving forward, though, probably the most since this last restart. He's up to 4th, and he's battling William Byron for the 3rd spot, about 3.5 seconds, maybe just less than that, off of the race lead. Toyota is really struggling outside of Kyle Busch right now. Denny Hamlin really not working through traffic as well as I thought. Truex has been outside the top 10 all day, and Bell's now back in traffic for the first time. Both 2311 Toyotas are 18th or worse, so Not a good run for Toyotas early on, and they've probably been the third best manufacturer so far this season as well as a whole, except for last week at Las Vegas, where they seemed to perform at least a little bit better between two of those drivers in the Toyota camp. Truex and Busch had a shot to win late before a caution with 3 laps to go. Put themselves in a difficult situational spot where they ended up taking 4 tires instead of 2 on the pit stops under the caution. 2 tires were taken by 3 of the Hendrick Chevys, and they were able to finish 1-2, and then Byron still also got a top 5 as well. Pete Fullis, welcome to the stream. Love the vids. Thank you. Thank you for watching and liking them. Another Kyle Busch fan in the chat. I noticed that last week at Vegas seemed like a lot of you guys were rooting for Kyle Busch. As close as he's come to victory lane a couple times this year, the Busch Clash, he led a lot of laps, finished in second. I think he led the most that day too, finished in second place. Obviously came really close last week at Vegas. He's definitely been one of the hotter drivers to start this season. Another hot driver would be Tyler Reddick, who is in 5th place early on in this race today. He finished 7th after spinning at Las Vegas last week. Tyler Reddick also in a situation where he was leading 90 laps at Auto Club before having a flat tire late in that race. Took him out of a shot to win. Put him a couple laps down as well, unfortunately. The battle between Harvick and Byron is still going on. Byron trying to diamond the corner off, starting on the outside, getting the undercut to the bottom that time through turns 1 and 2. Harvick stayed on the top all the way around and seemed to have a little bit more momentum off the exit of the corner, but was not able to get underneath them on the backstretch and then into turns 3 and 4. Lap traffic on the bottom allowed both cars to go back to the outside in turns 3 and 4 that time. It's where most of the speed is at in that corner anyway, so the lap cars staying on that lower, slower line for right now. Byron again, trying to drop down towards the bottom. He couldn't go all the way there because of the 15 car was in the way, but he still went down in the middle off the exit of the corner. And I think that's more of a protective line than what it is his traditional racing line. I think he's changing it up for the short term to try and keep Harvick behind him as much as possible. Despite the fact they are battling for position, they are slowly closing in on Blaney interval-wise, and so is Chase Elliott. Elliott is now only 1.3 seconds off the lead. It was 1.8. So Blaney's maybe a long-run car, not as good as the short-run car. We haven't seen a green flag run over 25 laps until now in this race today, and as the laps continue to wind on, it'll be interesting to see how that will play forward. It'll also be interesting to see how many cautions we get today. We've had 3 so far if you count the stage break and the competition caution. We've had 12 cautions in each of the last 2 races this season as well. More full green flag commercials. This is the 3rd time now, yes. Unfortunately, it is. Again, another rundown of the top 10 while Fox is on the full screen. Commercial break at lap number 100. Ryan Blaney leads by 1.3 seconds over Chase Elliott. And maybe some of that is lap traffic as well, costing Blaney time. So they are working with that for really the first time today. Chase Elliott is in 2nd, as mentioned. William Byron in 3rd. Kevin Harvick 4th. Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 5. Only Toyota in the top 10 is Kyle Busch in 6th. Kyle Larson 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. Joey Logano 9th. Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10. Bethany Slaughter, welcome to the stream. Need Ryan to win, hashtag DraftKings. He was my favorite going into today's race and my pick to win. How fast he was yesterday in qualifying and practice and the next-gen test. He's had good success here in the past. 4th and 10th in both races last year. Again, 5 top 10s in the last 6 races at Phoenix. Like all that added together, Blaney was my pick to win the race. But the guy I mentioned that was another must-have that could potentially challenge him is Kevin Harvick, and he's in 4th. He seems faster than William Byron. He was unable to get around him before the commercial break. They're still battling for 3rd. Now they're starting to lose time a little bit as they battle maybe a little bit harder, and the lap traffic contends maybe a little bit more into that as well. They're 3 seconds off the lead according to our leaderboard on the channel. It's the raw feed on NASCAR's website as well that I use for the race statistics and the live leaderboard that you guys could see throughout the course of this race. Picked Elliott to win today at Phoenix and is currently closing in on Blaney. He is slowly closing in. 1 second off the race lead. Elliott's car might be a bit better on the long run. Remember, though, that there will have to be a stop at some point in time in stage number 2 and stage number 3. So if we do stay green long enough, we could see green flag pit stops today. That could be crucial. Remember, Denny Hamlin, during the only green flag pit stop last week when he was trying to get up to speed, had accidentally downshifted when he was trying to upshift. The new H-pattern gearbox shifter definitely causing maybe some issues for some drivers. Tyler Reddick had that same issue happen, which led to a transaxle failure at the Busch Clash, and his was under caution. So drivers still trying to get used to that, but I think green flag conditions, we could see more of that happening again today, although it is much slower speeds at Phoenix compared to any other track we've been to, with this being by far the smallest in length. Only time will tell exactly what will go down. It'll be interesting to see when we see drivers pit, because we're about 20 to 30 laps shy of halfway, actually less than that shy of halfway in this stage. Probably about 20 to 25 laps shy. The halfway mark in stage 2, where we may see some drivers pit. Tires aren't going to matter quite as much as recent weeks. Track position does, and at a smaller track like Phoenix and a much longer pit road at Phoenix compared to most other racetracks, I think a lot of the leaders are going to stay out probably as long as they can, that in case we do end up seeing a caution flag, they don't end up losing a lap under green flag conditions. Denny Hamlin's at 15th. He's kind of been stuck in the mid-teens since the latest restart. Losing that track position definitely hurts, because a lot of jockeying in the running order has stalled out during this longer green flag run, even with some cars closer to one another battling for a spot, like Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe right now, within a couple tenths of each other as they battle for 7th, the battle for 3rd, like we mentioned with Harvick and Byron, who are now only 2.5 seconds off the lead again, as Blaney's time's not as fast, recently at least. That last lap, by about 0.3 of a mile an hour, Chase Elliott was faster than Ryan Blaney. That lap going by, it was 0.4 of a mile an hour, so Chase Elliott is closing in on Blaney for sure. Again, that's mile an hour, not second. Fortunately, I can't look at the last lap time for each driver. I wish it showed the last lap time instead of the last lap speed, but you can definitely tell on our live leaderboard that Chase Elliott is definitely running quicker by the lap than Blaney in traffic and during this longer green flag run, which is vastly approaching now 50 laps. Chase Elliott is within about 6 to 7 tenths of a second. That time Blaney was faster than Elliott. Elliott might have had a little bit of a hiccup that last lap. We all know Christopher Bell is willing at the walk car. Don't let him lie to you. I already called him Christopher Bell at the very start of the race on the first lap when he took that dive bomb to the bottom to go 3 wide on the initial start down to the apron. I called him Christopher Bell, and I forgot Busch was in the DeWalt car this weekend. I wonder how confusing that is for spotters, too, that on a consistent basis you're used to Kyle Busch not driving the DeWalt car, and you're maybe used to the 20, and then I wonder if maybe Christopher Bell spotters looking at Kyle Busch sometimes thinking that's him. That has to happen at least once during this race today, you'd have to imagine. Bird Rays, welcome to the stream. How many more laps left in stage number 2? 75 laps left in stage 2, approximately. So Logano got a little loose off the exit of turn 4 that last time by. Both Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain were able to get around him on the outside. Good save by Logano to keep it off the 48 as well, who was on the outside when the wiggle happened. Again, the tires are wearing out. Longest green flag run of the race and of the season up to this point as far as laps go. Logano's dropped outside the top 10 and is currently back to the 11th spot. One driver who has been really down on speed today, and I know he's in lesser equipment this year than what he has been throughout pretty much his entire Cup Series career for the most part, is Brad Keselowski. He is in 26th right now, and I was not expecting that out of him today, to be completely honest. And I think a 15th place run is going to be kind of average for Keselowski this year, but he is further back in the running order. Another driver currently further back in the running order as far as the Fords go is Harrison Burton. He is going to go a lap down at the hands of Ryan Blaney, as well as Bubba Wallace will go a lap down into turns 1 and 2. Burton got in the wall a couple laps ago, running the high side through turns 1 and 2. So it's a couple of the Penske-affiliated Fords who are struggling with the grip and the handling of their race cars in the early going. Fox will head to a commercial break once again, and again we'll take a quick look at the running order live on the channel. Lap 116 of 312, 196 laps to go. Ryan Blaney is your race leader. Chase Elliott is in second. He is 0.7 of a second off of Blaney for the race lead. William Byron is in third. Kevin Harvick fourth. Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 5. Kyle Larson at 6th. Kyle Busch 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. Ross Chastain rounds out the top 10. Joey Logano in 6th. Austin Dillon in 7th. Cole Custer in... hang on. I got that wrong. Chase Briscoe... Kyle Busch in 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. Ross Chastain rounds out the top 10. Joey Logano is in 11th. Austin Dillon in 12th. 13th is Cole Custer. Martin Truex Jr. in 14th. Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 15. Christopher Bell still in 16th, Kurt Busch in 17th. Eric Almirola is back to 18th after qualifying 5th. Chris Buescher is 19th, and Austin Cindric, who also qualified in the top 10, is back to 20th. Eric Jones is in 21st, Daniel Suarez 22nd, Ty Dillon 23rd, Ty Gillen 24th, Justin Haley rounds out the top 25. AJ Allmendinger is in 26th. Brad Keselowski is the first car one lap down in 27th. Bubba Wallace in 28th. Harrison Burton 29th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who started at the rear of the field today, is in 30th. Michael McDowell's 31st. First car 2 laps down is Landon Castle in 32nd. Cody Ware 33rd. Garrett Smithley 34th. BJ McLeod 35th. And then Corey LaJoie is in last. Out of the race, 74 laps down after his tire came apart earlier in the race. We're under caution during the full screen commercial break. Not sure what the caution is out for, but we have a caution. And Fox has missed it during the full screen commercial. Oh my goodness. This is Fox nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. But we are under caution. We can see that on this live leaderboard. Caution is out. We'll probably be seeing pit stops as they're in the fuel window to make it to the end of stage 2. Caution at lap 118, so it was a lap ago. And it looks like an incident involving Christopher Bell. So Christopher Bell was involved in the accident. Again, Fox is, on my end, not back from the commercial break, but you can see on our scoring monitor, Christopher Bell, when you look under the cautions, involved in the accident. We'll have to see the severity of that when they get back from the commercial break. He was involved in a spin last week at Vegas, but still rallied for a top 10 finish. Right rear tire has come apart on Christopher Bell's 20 machine. Not sure if that was the cause of their spin. It looks like he spun in the exit of turn 2. Again, not sure if the tire going flat was after the spin like we've seen with the next-gen car and flat spotting tires and how much easier it is. Close call for Kurt Busch, who was on the outside of the 20. Okay, so It looked like he had spun and then the tire went down. So Bell had spun and then the tire went flat. Looking at the replay of, you could just see when the tire would pop mid-slide. And it looked like he was okay until it overcorrected back to the right. Field will come in the pits. Everybody on the lead lap will pit now. Again, they're in the fuel window to make it to the end of stage number 2. I think Bell's going to lose at least a lap here. We'll see when everything cycles through. I would imagine everybody will be taking 4 tires on the stop following the longest green flag run of the race at just shy of 60 laps. So 4 tires for Harvick, for Blaney, for Byron, for Elliott. Again, I'm pretty sure everybody will be taking 4 tires. And Chase Elliott will win the race off of pit road. Ryan Blaney will be second, Byron third, Harvick fourth, Larson up a spot to round out the top 5. Reddick loses 2. He was a big loser in the top 10. So Chase Elliott and that fast Hendrick crew that won the championship due to a clinching stop at Martinsville, or a saving stop at Martinsville, also had a big stop at the All-Star race last year, earning that team an extra $100K for the fastest stop in that race. They were very consistent when it comes to fast stops, and they were consistent again here, winning the race off of pit road. Again, Blaney in second. Blaney's led 85 laps already in this race today. We have not seen a driver lead 100-plus laps in a race this season. Lisa Rogers, welcome to the stream. I like Blaney. Blaney's my favorite driver. That's why I'm wearing the gear. I'm not wearing the gear because I predicted him to win, because that would mean I would have gear for nearly every driver in the field. That is not the case. No, if it's Cup Series race day, I'm wearing Ryan Blaney stuff, whether I'm at the track or here at home. And yes, Blaney is my favorite driver. I grew up watching his uncle race sprint cars here in Northwest Ohio, where I live, and so the Blaney name has been within the state of Ohio, obviously, for a long time. Where the legacy's at. Seen Dave race sprint cars part-time when he was running NASCAR full-time too, so. Definitely a big Blaney fan. William Cantrell, welcome to the stream. Vote for Harvick to win. He's fast. Well, I can't change my pick now, but Harvick was my must-have pick. Harvick and Blaney were the 2 drivers I told you guys in the pre-race you should absolutely have in your lineup. And they're both in the top 4 right now. Coffee Black, welcome to the stream as well. See if there's anybody new that's been in the chat here. I might have missed the call out on. I don't think so. Dave and Dale are beasts in World of Outlaws. Well, Dale won some races with the World of Outlaws, but he never had as good of a career in the Outlaw Series. But Tony Stewart now owns it. Now owns this series, but it's I don't know if it's still called the All-Stars or not. Well, remember that video? There's a video game that came out a few years ago. It was a Tony Stewart sprint car racing game, and it was basically his series. There were some made-up drivers, and there were some real drivers in there. Well, Dale Blaney ran full-time in that series pretty much my entire childhood, and he would run the outlaw. He would run the bigger outlaw races, like at Charlotte for the World Finals, or like the Kings Royal at Eldora and Knoxville and stuff. But he would run the bigger, maybe televised races, but he wouldn't run the whole schedule. Or he'd run the local tracks, so if they came to like Attica Raceway Park or Lima Land or so, he would run those races too. Anywhere in Ohio, and then any of the big races as well. Don't forget, if you're not in the fantasy league, you can do so. You can join. Chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race of your choosing. You have to be a subscriber of the channel, though, if you are in the league. It is on the NASCAR mobile app and website. Just go to the fantasy portion, sign up with your email, free to join. Again, chance to win 2 tickets to any race of your choosing in 2023 if you win either the playoff championship or the regular season championship. That would include beating me, the defending playoff champion, Inside Uranus, who is a regular of the channel. He won the regular season title last year. He got his tickets for Auto Club this season. Blaney will be on the inside. Chase Elliott on the outside for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Elliott has been on the bottom when he's had the lane choice already, so interesting that Elliott gave it to him. 4 wide, now back in the pack on the restart as they enter into turn 1. Now down to 3 wide as Reddick's basically able to get back to the outside lane. Chastain finally merges his way up off the apron as he is battling Kyle Larson for 5th place. Blaney and Elliott still side by side. Elliott probably has a bit better of a long-run car. Elliott, though, knows Blaney by far has the fastest short-run car, but it's Elliott who will lead his first green flag lap of the day by leading back to the start-finish line and clearing the 12 of Blaney. First time we've seen Blaney at least towards the front of the field, but not exactly in the clean air with those fresh tires, so we'll see if he can motivate his way around Elliott, or maybe Chase Elliott has the clean air advantage and he's going to be able to hold on. Chastain and Reddick are still side by side now 2 full laps after the restart. Kyle Busch went down to the apron further back. He lost some spots during that last restart. He's trying to get him back. He's 3 wide with Alex Bowman and Joey Logano. Logano in the middle, Bowman on the outside, Busch down low. Close quarters racing, mid-pack, just barely outside the top 10 with those 3 drivers. Harvick battles William Byron for 3rd. Gets around him on the outside through 3 and 4. Byron to the bottom. Harvick more towards the middle. Larson right behind those 2, waiting for maybe one of them to make a mistake so he can hop in with a shot to take away a position. And Byron will have to file in line behind Harvick, give up the battle into turns 3 and 4. Interesting, Harvick goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. Byron to the outside. That might give the 24 a run to get back at the 4 car into turns 1 and 2. It does not. At the front of the field, Ryan Blaney goes to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Chase Elliott up high. Blaney again files in line behind him. Now Blaney to the outside in turns 3 and 4. Elliott gives it right to him. That's going to give Blaney a run off the exit of turn 4. I would expect a dive bomb move into turns 1 and 2 for Ryan Blaney. But instead, again, Elliott gives Blaney the outside. Blaney's building up momentum. Just doesn't have enough straightaway time to be able to actually complete a run and make a move on Chase Elliott. But if Elliott keeps giving Blaney the outside lane, one of these times Blaney's going to be able to get around him with the run. I'm shocked that Chase Elliott is running the bottom as much as he is out in the lead. In full protection mode right now. TRG Eternal Tornado, welcome to the stream. Any wrecks yet? We've had a couple. Corey LaJoie has lost a tire, completely lost a tire, didn't blow the tire. The tire came off the car, it was his right front. He hit the wall in the short chute between the middle of the dog leg and turn 1. And then we just saw that last yellow, Christopher Bell had a self-spin off the exit of turn 2. He didn't hit anything, but he did end up blowing a couple of tires. And he has now shown 2 laps down in 29th. Blaney nearly gets into the left rear of Elliott that time and almost making contact, but as they have continued to battle for the lead, it is Kevin Harvick who closes in from behind. He's a half a second behind both Blaney and Elliott, and finally Blaney will make the pass on Elliott on the bottom lane through turns 3 and 4. He is clear, and now Ryan Blaney leads once again at Phoenix. Elliott will charge to the bottom, looking to cross him over in turns 1 and 2, but is not going to be able to do so. Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson are side by side for 5th place through turns 1 and 2. Larson getting the momentum off the top as Reddick will still be able to side draft enough down the back straightaway to stay to the inside. Into turns 3 and 4. Larson didn't go all the way up into the grip strip on the outside. That might have allowed Reddick to stay underneath him. And he might be close enough now on the inside of the 5 into turns 1 and 2 to make the pass. Larson comes off the top just a hair. He starts in the middle, works his way up into the blacker, darker groove, and then back down to the middle again, diamonding and just trying to pinch the 8 of Reddick, not allowing Reddick to win the race back to the gas off corner exit. Wider arc that time for Larson in turns 3 and 4, and he is cleared. Tyler Reddick holding off the battle for now at least for that 5th place position. Blaney is quickly pulling away from Elliott after passing him 2 laps ago for the lead. He is about 7 to 8 tenths of a second ahead. Again, Blaney far and away has the fastest short-run car in the field today. Elliott did a great job holding on for as long as he did. He was able to get 11 laps led in there, but it wasn't enough. Elliott has a good long-run car, though. We still have 50 laps to go in Stage 2. If it stays green to the end of Stage 2, I would not be shocked if Elliott tries to make a run at Blaney before the stage end. As well, Kevin Harvick in 3rd has also shown good long-run speed as well as short-run speed. He's in 3rd place off the restart. He's still battling Elliott for 2nd, and he's pretty good on the long runs as well. Blaney has the fastest lap of the race total. He's the only driver to run in the 27-second lap barrier with a 27.93. Harvick is the 2nd fastest, followed by Byron, Elliott, and Chastain. All of those drivers are inside the top 7. In fact, 4 of them are running 1 through 4. Joey Logano is back inside the top 10, at least for the moment. He is battling Austin Dillon for 9th place. Dillon having a quiet but good day. He's been running pretty much right around 10th place the entire race. Take a look at our spotlight drivers for the first time today. We've mentioned Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick are the 2 drivers I said that they were on the must-have list. That they would be my favorites as far as the chance for the win goes, and Blaney was my race win pick. They're running 1st and 3rd. Sleeper picks not doing as good this week, at least for now, compared to weeks prior. These drivers I said would get a top 10 today. That was Eric Almirola. He's had 7 finishes, 13th or better in the last 8 Phoenix starts. He is currently outside the top 10 in 14th. He was running right around 20th in Stage 1, so they're slowly getting that car to where he maybe needs it to be or wants it to be. They'll continue to work, and we'll see if he can get that top 10 by the end of the day as predicted in the pre-race. And the other driver who was on the dark horse / sleeper pick on my behalf was Austin Cindric. He is back at 22nd. He's got a lot more work cut out for him in this race. And the lone driver I had for the don't have pick this weekend, who I told you guys not to have in your fantasy lineups whatsoever, was Alex Bowman. I predicted him to not have a top 10. He has not had a top 10 in the last 8 races for Phoenix. And currently he is in 13th. $152 people watching. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Fox on another full screen coverage commercial break. Again, Ryan Blaney in the lead. Chase Elliott is 1.2 seconds off the lead in 2nd. Kevin Harvick is in 3rd place, 1.6 seconds off the race lead. William Byron is 4th, 2.8 seconds off the lead. And Kyle Larson rounds out the top 5. He is 3.1 seconds off the lead. We're almost halfway home. We will be exactly halfway in another 13 laps. And we are just past halfway in Stage 2. Kumar JB, welcome to the stream. In Sicily for another 2 weeks. Can't watch the race. Glad to catch the broadcasting. Well, thank you. I think I remember you stating that last week. You weren't going to be back in the U.S. for a couple weeks. Or we're coming to the U.S. in a few weeks. Something of that nature. I do remember you mentioned it last weekend. Commercials suck. Yes, they do. Like listening to the race. Watching, I think. Oh, that must have been a conversation I was missing in the chat. Gotta keep tuned in on the way to work here in a minute. All right, awesome. That is greatly appreciated. That's true, Dark Crypto, but that's also why we could have side-by-side commercials that don't exactly break the coverage. I get the point of commercials, and these TV companies or commercial companies, or not the commercial companies, that the companies that are airing the commercials are paying Fox a lot of money, therefore that money goes into NASCAR one way, shape, or form, whether it's Fox in the contract especially, but that has a lot to do with the contractual obligations and the money of it. So it is definitely more of a Fox thing than NASCAR thing. NASCAR doesn't have as much say in it. So that's why the reworking of the new TV deal and the new TV contract for 2025 is such a big, hot topic of debate of what channels will be broadcasting the rights to NASCAR. And will we see as many on-air commercials going forward in 2025 and beyond? Time will tell with that one, and that's also what plays into the TV ratings this year as well. If Ryan Blaney can lead this next lap, which he will pretty much as long as he doesn't have something bad happen, hopefully I didn't jinx that, but when Blaney leads back to the start-finish line this time back around, he will have hit 100 laps led in today's race. He will be the first driver to lead 100 laps or more in a race this season. Again, I said he'd lead the most laps, he'd win the race, and he'd have over, or at least one stage win. He did not win stage 1. Again, William Byron won stage 1, but with 37 to go at stage 2, Blaney's in a pretty good spot. Leading the way at Phoenix. I'm surprised more cars aren't a lap down, considering we had about 50 laps into a green flag run on a short track. I think that just goes to show how competitive the field is from top to bottom with the next-gen car. And I think it should be talked about in a race like today. Yes, Ryan Blaney is dominating in the laps led category. But even though he has dominated the race in laps led, I don't think he's had more than a 2.5 second lead in this race either. That's how closely really congested together the top 5 or 6 cars have been in this race today. I think you go back to Reddick in 6, and those are drivers who have cars that are probably capable of winning under the right circumstances today, depending on how this goes. We obviously saw Blaney speed on pit road back at stage 1. Maybe something like that happens again. His pit crew has not been on it that much this year until last weekend at Vegas. They cleaned it up a little bit more, but we'll see if they maybe have another bad spot or stop in them. And that could allow for a fast car like Harvick or Elliott or Byron, who has been pretty closely behind him for the most part as far as interval goes in this race, to contend for the win as the race moves on. Blaney's still slowly pulling away from Elliott for now. It's a 1.3 second lead with 34 laps to go in stage 2. Elliott got through the lap traffic a little bit better before that caution ended up coming out. He cut the lead down to about 0.6 of a second. He was as much back as about 2.5 in that run, and him holding off Blaney for just those 11 laps is also going to help. That means that was less laps Blaney had to pull away from Elliott before maybe that climax or the cliff begins to happen on the long run for Ryan Blaney, and where Elliott maybe starts to take control as the faster car on the racetrack. The interval, again, only got stretched to about 1.3 seconds. It was 2.5 last time. That'll create more of a time for Elliott to be able to get to Blaney before the end of stage 2. We also have a little bit more laps left in stage 2 on the restart than what we ran in the first half of stage 2 before that last caution came out for Christopher Bell spinning. Close call between Cole Custer and Kurt Busch that time through turns 1 and 2. Custer slid up right in front of him, and Kurt Busch had to lift out of the throttle. They're battling for 18th on the racetrack, though. It has not been a good start for Kurt Busch with 23:11 racing. He did get a top 10 at Auto Club, but he ran outside the top 15 for most of that race. Didn't run too well last week at Las Vegas at his home track either, and finished outside the top 10. Had a poor run through speed weeks. He missed the Busch Clash. And running in the 19th position early on. I shouldn't say early on. We're exactly halfway now. 19th, halfway through today's race at Phoenix. This is Not a good start for Kurt Busch. He is outrunning his teammate Bubba Wallace by a pretty wide margin today, but Wallace has pretty much outran Busch in every race this season prior to this one today. So although Busch has the upper hand, the fact that he's still well outside the top 15 is definitely concerning. He's going to have to start making up points at some point this season, or he could be in danger of missing the playoffs at the end of the regular season. Of the drivers running inside the top 4, none of them have won a race early in this 2022 campaign, so the possibility of having 4 different winners in the first 4 races is there. Blaney, Elliott, Harvick, and Byron all winless. Larson at 5th is the only driver that has a win this season that is running inside the top 12 as of right now. Then you have Bowman, who has a win last week at Vegas in 13th. And then Austin Cindric is outside the top 20. And in fact, Cindric is the last car in the lead lap in 25th. Chance for Cindric to win, or is he too far behind? I mean, there's always a chance, but he has not looked as fast as I thought he'd even be today. He was one of the sleeper/dark horse picks, and he dropped back. He was running top 15 at stage 1, but stage 2 he has really fallen off. He's just unable to keep up with the track conditions, which have changed. Remember, it was a pretty overcast day at the start of the race. The sun has definitely came through and is beating down on the racetrack, so I'm sure the track temps have risen a bit since the start as well. I've already mentioned a couple times, Chase Elliott has a better long-run car than Ryan Blaney, and I think that's starting to put forth right now because Elliott is within 0.7 of a second of Ryan Blaney with 26 laps to go in Stage 2. It was a 1.3 second lead at one point. Again, we haven't really seen much of the leaders in the battle of lap traffic so far, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly who is getting through the lap traffic better and how much that is really playing into effect more than just the car and the car's handling on the longer run as well. It was a 0.7 of a second lead. Now it's up to about 1 second as Fox goes into a side-by-side commercial break. Take a look at the top 10 one more time here in Stage 2 as they run. Ryan Blaney is the leader. Chase Elliott 1.1 seconds off the lead in second. Kevin Harvick is 2.5 seconds back in third. William Byron 4th. Kyle Larson rounds out the top 5. Tyler Reddick is in 6th. Ross Chastain 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. Austin Dillon 9th. And Joey Logano rounds out the top 10. Logano 10.7 seconds back. Austin Cindric is the first car 1 lap down right now. AJ Allmendinger, the last car on the lead lap. So the battle for the free pass position is real. Haley and Allmendinger are 23rd and 24th right now. They're the last 2 cars on the lead lap, and they're honestly within a couple seconds ahead of Ryan Blaney. Blaney will definitely get to those guys. And then there's another 4-second gap between Justin Haley in 23rd and Ty Dillon in 22nd. So it'll be interesting to see if Dillon or Jones, who are running 21st, 22nd, if they'll go a lap down before the end of the stage. That could play into the battle between the colleague cars for the free pass position. Finally, no full screen. They did have a side-by-side commercial at the end of Stage 1 as well. That was before the caution for Corey LaJoie. So it seems to be in the final 25 laps of the stage if they take a commercial. Those are the only ones that are side-by-side. I remember last season it seemed like most of the commercials in the final stage were side-by-side, and they really didn't have any side-by-side, any full-screen commercials during the final stage. This is only the second race I've been able to watch on Fox this year as far as the points race go. I noticed last week at Vegas there were some full-screen commercials during the final stage, which was disappointing because the year before it wasn't like that. So we'll see here today if it'll be more of that or not. 162 people watching. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live commentary, live streams like this coming forward more and more throughout the course of the season. Our goal today is 100 likes on the channel. We are at 49, just shy of halfway, but we are still in Stage 2 as we have 20 laps to go in the second stage. So if we can get that to 100 by the end, we can definitely do so. We have 166 people watching now, and our stream record, just over 400 people watching the stream. That was towards the end of the race last weekend at Vegas, so as things start to intensify and heat up today, we'll see if we can get to that number and potentially have a new stream record there. Elliott has closed a couple tenths of a second again. He's back down to 7/10 of a second behind Blaney. That's about where he was 6 to 7 laps ago before the side-by-side commercial break. So making it a little interesting between Elliott and Blaney, the two best friends, running 1-2 with 18 laps to go in the second stage. Both drivers looking for their first stage win of the season. Blaney has not scored a lot of stage points in the races so far this year. Auto Club, he was pretty much taken out of a lot of stage points because of the amount of spots he was losing on pit road. He did score some at Daytona, and then he had no stage points last week at Vegas, taken out in a I think he got a couple stage points at stage 1, but he got taken out in that wreck when Keselowski spun at the end of stage 2. Backed it right into the front of Ryan Blaney, and Blaney T-boned him. Joe, welcome to the stream. Watching from the infield at the race. Well, thank you for listening to the commentary. I'm sure everything you're seeing is going to be a little bit ahead of what I'm seeing, but I appreciate you being in here. Fox is going to go to Crank It Up, and we will play that for you.
By himself, all clear. 5 to the 9.
Laps to go.
10 laps left in stage number 2. That was the NASCAR on Fox Crank It Up that you guys got to listen to live on the channel. Ryan Blaney had a bit of a slide job on Christopher Bell in the middle of the Crank It Up where he almost put the car in the wall. He lost a little bit of time off his lead on Chase Elliott in the process, and Elliott has cut that lead down to 4/10 of a second, because of which Fox showing the replay right now. You might have seen me squirm a little bit when that happened because I saw it happen, and I thought Blaney was headed for the wall, but he did a great job saving it. He did clear Bell. Bell is now 3 laps down. Or sorry, no, he's 2 laps down again, so that means he probably took the wave around earlier because he was 2 down. But now he's back to 2 laps down after that little bit of a mistake again. Bell had a spin and a flat tire earlier in the race, which caused him to be 2 laps down. These lead lap cars are racing Blaney pretty hard, too, to try and stay on the lead lap to the end of the stage. As of right now, the first car 1 lap down is Justin Haley in 23rd. Ty Dillon is in 22nd right now, but he has, I should say he is about to lose a lap. Coming to 7 laps to go this time by. Eric Jones is about 4 seconds ahead of Ty Dillon. I don't think Blaney will be able to get to Jones by the end of the stage. He should get around Ty Dillon. And Dillon could get the free pass position over Justin Haley in the next 7 laps. Or less, if we get a caution before the end of the stage. Chase Elliott a little bit better on the longer run. He wiggled quite a bit on these older tires through 1 and 2, as well did Blaney, as they both ran the high side. But Blaney seemed to wiggle a little bit more, giving Elliott just a tad bit more of a run. Two-tenths of a second is the difference between Blaney and Elliott, and the battle for the Stage 2 win was 6 laps to go. Fox showing a replay as Eric Almirola has just gotten into the wall a couple laps ago. I don't think it was too big of a hit. His tires should be fine with the composite body. Hopefully aerodynamically it's not going to be too much of an extra challenge. Both Elliott and Blaney running the outside lane, dominating down to the middle of turns 1 and 2, rounding the corner off. Into turns 3 and 4, Blaney is going to go to the outside lane, so is Elliott. Elliott ran the bottom really well early in the run. Blaney's not going to give him that. He's going to make sure that he runs the top. He's going to try to make Elliott build momentum up in the dirty air. As Elliott continues to go to the top. And Elliott does not want to come off the outside lane until he knows he has a big enough run to have a chance to get around Blaney on the bottom. He's running out of time, though. Only 3 laps to go now as they round their way through turns 3 and 4. Now Blaney is still up on the outside, but Elliott goes to the bottom, down to the yellow line. He was not close enough to make the pass on him, but I think he's trying to get out of the dirty air and trying to find whatever sort of speed possible. In the process of doing that, Blaney pulled away about another tenth of a second on Elliott. Kevin Harvick in third is about 3.5 seconds off the race lead, but he's far enough ahead of Byron. He's about a half a second ahead of him. He should be able to hold on for the 3rd place position. Elliott slides the car down to the inside into turns 3 and 4 again, just like he did the lap before, and he gained time that time on Blaney. The lap before he lost time, but he gained it. Maybe picking up information on how to round that corner off on these older tires from the lap before. Blaney runs that middle groove through turns 1 and 2, maybe trying to pinch Elliott. Lap traffic is picked up right in front of Blaney. It's Ty Dillon who's going to try desperately to hold on to the lead lap. He's on the outside of the 77 of Landon Castle, and with the side-by-side lap traffic, it could hold Blaney up enough. Final lap now in stage 1 as they head into turns 1 and 2. Blaney's got about 2 to 3 car lengths on Chase Elliott. Blaney dives to the bottom. He'll slide up in front of Ty Dillon off the exit of turn number 3. Blaney went to the top. Elliott went to the top side trying to build up a run. But now Dillon gets in the way of Elliott, and that's probably going to end any sort of shot Elliott had into turn 3 on Blaney. Ryan Blaney on the outside, Elliott to the bottom. Elliott slides off the exit of the corner, about a car length and a half late behind Blaney to make the pass for the win. Ryan Blaney will win stage number 2. Chase Elliott will finish in 2nd. Kevin Harvick will be 3rd. William Byron 4th. Kyle Larson rounds out the top 5 in stage number 2. Tyler Reddick will finish in 6th in Stage 2. Ross Chastain 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. Austin Dillon 9th. And Joey Logano will all receive stage points in Stage number 2 here tonight. Who's going to pit next? I would imagine everybody will be coming into the pits during this stage break, as we had just over a 55-lap green flag run. Actually, I think it was just over 60-lap green flag run to the end of stage 2. So that was the longest green flag run now of the race today. We'll be seeing pit stops for not the final time. They will have to make a stop at some point in the final stage, whether it be under caution or green. Chevy's going to take 2. Not now. It's way too early. They only did that because it was a late race restart last week. They knew they were only going to have 2 laps to try and hold on. We still have 127 to go, and we just ran over 60 laps, so those tires are burnt up. I'm sure everybody will take 4. Skylar Smith, though, welcome to the stream. 22 to win. Logano's been in the top 10 pretty much all day. He fell outside the top 10 for a little bit at the beginning of the stage, but he got back up to 10th at the end of it. Him and Austin Dillon have been battling quite a bit, as well as Kyle Busch. Busch is... he started the day really fast. He was in the top 5 in stage 1, and then he just kind of dropped back. I mean, you look at the running order in the top portion of the field, and I think the only drivers that qualified in the top 10 that were in the top 10 at the end of stage 2 were Ryan Blaney, who qualified pole. He's still leading. Byron qualified in the top 10. He's in 4th. Chase Briscoe, he qualified in row 3. I think he qualified in 6th. 5th or 6th. Yeah, 6th. It was 6th. Almirola qualified 5th. So Chase Briscoe qualified 6th, and he's in 8th. And then Logano qualified 10th and is in 10th. But the other 6 drivers qualified well outside the top 10. Larson's in the top 5 now. Harvick was 16th starting spot. Elliott was back in 17th qualified. So definitely, like I mentioned, and like we saw in the first 2 intermediate track races with this car, that we've seen drivers that were more trimmed out for qualifying that started up in the top 10 and fell back. And that was the case again today. Almirola's worked his way up to 12th. He got into the wall, so they might have a slow stop coming up if they have to pull out any fenders. But he's slowly working his way up there because he was back in 19th early in the race after qualifying 5th. So he's still got a shot to keep that top 10 streak alive. Austin Cindric, on the other hand, the other sleeper driver I had, is 1 lap down in 25th. And by the way, the free pass went to the 42 of Ty Dillon. Blaney had got around him on the final lap of the stage. That kept Justin Haley 1 lap down and kept him from getting the free pass. Pit road will be open. And everybody will come on down. Delarice McQueen, welcome to the stream. 48, do the same thing what I did before. Kyle Busch almost got into the back of Joey Logano in a stack up at the front of the pit road entrance. He kind of pulled to the inside. I wonder if that's going to be a penalty, because I know NASCAR's pretty strict with staying in line under caution to come into the pits, and he was about a half a car length underneath him, so more on that coming up in a little bit. Definite 4-tire stops at the back, like we had mentioned, or back at the pit road at least. Ross Chastain taking on 4 tires, Harvick taking on 4, Custer, Chase Elliott, Byron, everybody taking 4 tires. I expected no 2-tire stops after a 60-lap green flag run, and we still have the final stage yet to go. Blaney's crew drops the jack, but pretty slow on the dropping of the jack. Chase Elliott will win the race off of pit road, and Blaney's crew, story of the season for him, and that 12 team has been that pit crew struggling, and they lose 3 spots from the number 1 pit box. Reddick gains 3 spots up to 3rd. Blaney back to 4th. Chase Elliott, again, won the race off of pit road. And if there's one way you're going to beat the 12 team today, it's probably going to be on pit road. And him being back in 4th place right now, that is impressive. So again, Kevin Harvick, if he finishes top 10 today at Phoenix, will be tied. And actually, we'll have that interview with Kevin Harvick right now.
Forward to this racetrack, it's here, and you are
Boy, you're dialing him up.
front, knocking on the door of a huge record with that. 9 wins here. How's your car, and what do you need to be better so you can win this race?
Yeah, we were a little bit too tight through the center that time. It still fell off on the exit, so we just got to control the fall off a little bit on the exits. But good car. Everybody's doing a good job on pit road, and we just keep battling here and see what happens.
All right, buddy. Keep it up. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
It has to be one of the most positive Kevin Harvick interviews I think I've ever heard. Yeah, Mike Joy just said, right after I said that, sounded like Happy Harvick to me. So Chase Elliott's gas can had flown off. I don't think it came out of the box, so it shouldn't be a penalty. It looked like it stayed in the box, and he's very lucky that that was the case, because that would have been tough to lose all that track position with the green flag runs we've seen today and only one stage remaining. Major Kenneth Withrow, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Chris Luff, welcome as well. Thanks for the great takes in the weekly streams. Yeah, no problem. I actually stream during the week as well. We do NASCAR video game stuff with the same realistic commentary on that side of things. So always doing live commentary on the channel. Only making myself better along the way. So appreciate everybody that watches any of the streams on the channel. These are my favorite, and I'm sure they're your guys' favorite as well. Getting to watch the race with you guys and commentate it. It's a lot of fun. He is Happy Harvick today. He's been top 5 all day. I don't think you could blame him for not being happy. This is probably his best shot to win since Bristol night race last season. And the guy he battled for the win that day was Chase Elliott. They had a rivalry and a fallout after that. Those two are going to be on the front row for this next restart. Look out if it comes between Elliott and Harvick late in this one. I'm sure that'll get brought up during the Fox broadcast at some point. Smack My Cactus, welcome to the stream. That is probably the best name I think I've seen in the chat today. Sam B, welcome to the stream as well. Good coverage, thanks. If possible, please add the car manufacturer now and then. Only a semi-fan don't keep up with the sport. Gotcha. Yeah, usually when I'm describing the cars, I will from time to time talk about the, Kyle Busch and the Toyota or something like that. Yeah, I do that. They're sponsors. Number, obviously. I change it up. Try to get all of them. But good to see new fans of the sport or partial fans of the sport trying to get into it more. 48, go get him. Yeah, Bowman is in 11th. He's been outside the top 10 for pretty much from the start of Stage 2 on. He did score stage points at Stage 1, and he was on my don't have pick to not get a top 10 today. He's borderline on whether he'll get that top 10 or not. He's only got one career top 10 at Phoenix. Oddly enough, it was when he ran part-time for Hendrick Motorsports in 2016 when Dale Jr. was out for concussions. Linda B, welcome to the stream. Let's go, Elliott. Chase is in the lead heading to this next restart. He'll be the control car. Why do they have to bring up Clint Boyer's feud with Jeff Gordon? I understood it last year. It was Gordon and Boyer both in the booth, but Gordon's not even in the booth right now, and they're still bringing Clint Boyer back to that day. It's unfortunate. Again, next Sunday at Atlanta, they'll be racing. 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard start time. Unfortunately, we will not be doing a live commentary because I will be at the racetrack that weekend. And I'll be there for the Cup race. You'll get to see the race highlight video from the grandstands on the channel like I take of every race I go to. You can go back and watch the highlights from the Daytona 500 as well as the Cup race at Auto Club. Really every race during Speed Week, including the 500. We have the live... Well, not live, I guess, but it's the highlights from the grandstands from that weekend. I pretty much had different seats every race, too. So a different vantage point for each of them. Green flag back in the air. Elliott chooses the outside on the restart. Harvick was on the bottom. Harvick stalled and spun out his tires. He'll lose a few spots as they're 3 and 4 wide again, heading down into turn 1. Near contact between Ryan Blaney and William Byron on the inside lane. Blaney trying to slide up, but Harvick is still there. Larson somehow, somewhere on the outside groove is going to get up to third. It is Tyler Reddick who is able to get to the inside and have a shot at Elliott for the lead in turns 3 and 4. Almost clears him, but not quite. They're dead even at the start-finish line with Elliott leading that last lap. Blaney has cleared Larson now for third place, going down to the dogleg again on the front stretch and back to protect on the bottom lane on Larson from trying to cross him over in turns 1 and 2. Door-to-door was Elliott and Reddick. Elliott came down the track to try and pinch Reddick off, allowing Elliott to win the race back to the gas, and he is clear well before getting into turn 3 on Reddick. Reddick getting those left side tires all the way on that painted yellow line in turns 3 and 4, looking for all the speed he can. Couple cars further back in the pack, still trying to work the apron through the dog leg like Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Joey Logano. Harvick gets a bit out of shape into turns 1 and 2, nearly slides up into the outside wall, and loses another position. So Harvick, who restarted on the inside of the front row, has fallen back to 6th place following the restart. He's working on Kyle Larson for position right now. And it looks like he has already gotten around him in turns 1 and 2. Chase Briscoe trying to follow his SHR teammate right around Larson on the top as well, and Briscoe's clear. Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson nearly make contact into turn 3. Larson holds on strong on the bottom lane, and Austin Dillon will have to file in line behind him in 7th. Daniel Suarez now inside the top 10 for the first time today as well, up to 9th place, getting around his teammate Ross Chastain. So both the Trackhouse cars having good top 10 performances. Of course, Chastain led the most laps last week as well at Las Vegas, was a threat to win, won stage 2. Unfortunately, he was not able to get the win, but he still got a top 5. And he is looking for another top 10 performance today. He's been in the top 10 pretty much all day long. Love seeing the KC jersey. That was epic. That's right, they did have that bet. What would that have been? 2020? I think it was 2020 when that bet took place. Because Boyer was still driving. Ross Chastain, William Byron. They'll battle side by side for A. Chastain was able to get back around Suarez the last lap, and Suarez is actually trying to fend off Martin Truex Jr. behind him for that 10th place position. Truex has been outside the top 10 pretty much all day today after winning this race a season ago. He's been off his game so far in this one, as most of the Toyotas have. Kyle Busch has fallen outside the top 10 now, meaning that there are 0 Toyotas in the top 10 as we run. All Chevrolets and Fords, with Chevrolet leading the way with Chase Elliott first, Tyler Reddick second. Blaney, though, in the blue oval has closed in on Tyler Reddick for second place, within about 2 car lengths of Tyler Reddick now. Actually ran that middle line more so through turns 3 and 4. Reddick to the top, so he'll pull him a bit on the front stretch. Truex has finally gotten around Suarez, so now he is the only Toyota inside the top 10. Kyle Busch has fallen back to 14th on the restart. Other Toyotas outside the top 10 would be Denny Hamlin 17th, Kurt Busch 18th. Christopher Bell had that spin earlier. He's 2 laps down in 28th. Bubba Wallace in 26th. Also 2 laps down. It's been a rough year for Toyota so far. Slide job maneuver there by Truex. He was on the bottom lane, pulled up right in front of Daniel Suarez, and Suarez got into the back of him off the exit of turn 4. Truex puts his hand out the window saying, "My bad" on that one. He thought he had more clearance, but that battle is still going on for position. Tyler Reddick is closed in on Chase Elliott for the lead. Blaney's still about 2 to 3 car lengths behind him, maybe down to a car length or 2 now on the front stretch, as he has a lot bigger run than both the 8 and the 9. But Elliott is now holding on as strong on even the 8 of Reddick as well as Blaney. So a little 3-car battle for the lead at the front of the field as they're all within 0.3 of a second of one another. Alex Bowman trying to claw back into the top 10. Holding on desperately for 11th as Suarez has just gotten passed by him. But Joey Logano also trying to move on the attack. Blaney gets to the inside of Tyler Reddick. He'll side draft him into the dogleg as they're side by side for second place. Into turns 1 and 2. Blaney to the bottom. Reddick on the outside. And he's not going to be able to try and diamond the corner off to pinch Blaney, but he'll hold on strong on the outside nevertheless as he is able to stay there. Blaney not clear, and Reddick will get the run off the exit of the corner and hang on to second place. But now Reddick goes down to the middle to bottom lane, not all the way to the yellow line, but he was below the darker groove on the outside with the PJ1/traction compound. And Ryan Blaney gets a little bit better run. Once they got side by side, Chase Elliott was able to pull another couple car lengths ahead. Now has about a 0.4 of a second lead. That's what he needs to have happen. We know Elliott's had a better long run car, but he has the track position. Buying more time for the short run while he's got that battle for second going on behind him. Kevin Harvick as well trying to slowly close in on the leaders. He's in fourth, 1.5 seconds off the lead, about 0.8 of a second behind Ryan Blaney in third. Exactly 104 laps to go in today's race. We are in the final stage. Blaney just got off a win in Stage 2. William Byron won Stage 1 after Blaney had a pit road speeding penalty, which took him out of a shot to get any stage points in the opening stage. But Blaney has led the most by far, 142 laps led today. Next closest is your current leader, Chase Elliott, with 31 laps led. Fox going to a full-screen commercial break in the final stage, which is unfortunate because, again, I mentioned last year there weren't really any full-screen commercial breaks in the final stage. I noticed at Vegas, it's the first race I watched on Fox for points this year because I was at the races in person prior, and I noticed that was not the case last week, and again this week it seems to be the case. But nevertheless, we'll go through the full running order. Chase Elliott is your race leader. He's got a 0.5 second on Tyler Reddick, with currently 101 laps to go. Ryan Blaney is sitting in P3, 1.2 seconds off the lead. Kevin Harvick is in fourth, and Kyle Larson rounds out the top 5. Larson's 2.9 seconds back. Chase Briscoe is in sixth. Ross Chastain 7th. Austin Dillon in 8th. William Byron 9th, and Martin Truex Jr., the lone Toyota in the top 10, rounds out the top 10. He's 6.9 seconds off leader Chase Elliott. In 11th is Alex Bowman, Joey Logano in 12th, Daniel Suarez 13th, Chris Buescher in 14th, Kyle Busch rounds out the top 15. Eric Almirola 16th, Kurt Busch 17th, Denny Hamlin 18th, Eric Jones 19th, and Cole Custer rounds out the top 20. 21st is Ty Dillon in 22nd, Justin Haley 23rd, Brad Keselowski 24th, and Austin Cindric is going to round out the top 25. Also, Justin Haley is the first car lap down, but he is 2 down in 23rd. Everybody on back that I've mentioned so far also 2 down, which include AJ Allmendinger 26th, Bubba Wallace 27th. Christopher Bell is actually 3 laps down in 28th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also 3 down in 29th. Harrison Burton in 30th. Michael McDowell 31st. Landon Castle 4 laps down in 32nd. And 33rd is Cody Ware. And 34th is Garrett Smithley. He's 5 laps down. BJ McLeod also 5 down at 35th. And still the only car out of the race today is Corey LaJoie late in stage 1 with 15 laps to go in the stage. His right front tire came off the race car. He slammed the outside wall in the short chute between the dogleg and turn 1, ending his day. So that is the full field running order. Now just 98 laps to go at Phoenix. Those laps will continue to wind down quickly. Chase Elliott still holding on to the lead as they come back from that commercial break. He's got a 0.5 second on Reddick. Blaney's fallen back just a little bit. Wonder if he's maybe conserving those tires a bit more, knowing that he isn't as good on the long run as Chase Elliott, and we don't know, I don't really know how good Reddick has been on the long run. This is as far in the running order as he's been all day. He's pretty much been around 5th or 7th most of the day, but now that he's up in contention to win, we get to really see the speed out of Reddick's car. Like and subscribe as well for more daily NASCAR content. Our goal is 100 likes on today's stream. We are currently sitting at 60, but we have 190 people watching, so definitely hit that like button. Subscribe, again, for more daily NASCAR content. The goal is to get to 10,000 subs here in the calendar year of 2022. These live commentary races go a long way into doing that, and I appreciate the support from all of you guys that are watching this stream today and as well have watched my streams in the past. So Hendrick Motorsports looking for their third consecutive win today, and it would be with the third different driver in that organization if Chase Elliott or William Byron could go to victory lane. Byron, who was in the top 5 most of the day, is back to 9th. He had a slow pit stop, and he didn't have a great restart either. That kind of put him back in traffic a little bit more. All 4 Hendrick cars are inside the top 10 now, as Alex Bowman has just passed Martin Truex Jr. a couple laps ago, as Logano has also gotten around Truex. So now no Toyotas are in the top 10 once again. Highest running would be Truex in that 12th spot. Really, the Chevrolets are even dominating the Fords as a whole as far as the top 10 goes, outnumbering them 7-3, including the top 2. Chase Briscoe having a very quiet but good day. He led some laps earlier in the race, 19 laps led. He is in the 6th spot. About 5.5 seconds off the lead. He hasn't had a car that looks like he's capable of winning this one, but you never know. Again, under the right circumstances, we get a late caution like we had last week, could really change the strategy game. Everybody will still have to make their final pit stop in this race as well. It'll be interesting to see if that will be under green or caution. We haven't seen any green flag stops yet today, despite having longer green flag runs. Pit window is 88 to 92 laps, so that window is open now to the end of the race with 92 laps currently remaining. You're not going to be seeing anybody pit, though, considering that this is a short track. They're going to try to go as long as they can on fuel or tires. They could probably push it to about 40 to 50 laps to go before they would have to pit at their furthest point. Oh, trouble! Hard crash off turn 2. Martin Truex Jr. has slammed the wall. And his right front tire is down. And we are just in the pit window to make it to the end as mentioned. So I'm sure the field will be pitting. Hard crash for Martin Truex Jr. as he's sitting halfway down the backstretch trying to get the car to pit road. But it is down on the rim and he is not going to be able to get there. Heavy damage to the right front. It's more than just the tire down. The entire right front is just destroyed on that race car. Looks like he got a bit out of shape and then just slammed the wall hard off the exit of turn 2. Really pancaked it. Not sure if he got loose because the tire was down or not. It looked like it wiggled a bit. Or maybe it was an overcorrection. Martin Truex Jr.'s day is looking like it will be coming to an end, unfortunately. And he'll be the second driver to retire from the race today. So pit road will open here in a few laps, I'm sure. Get every bit of that debris cleaned up off the exit of turn 2 where the pit road entrance is. And where Truex had slammed the outside wall. 26 laps on these tires. That was a green flag run in between the start of stage 3 and this current caution we are on. This is the 6th caution in the race today. But again, they are in the fuel range to make it to the end. Fuel range is 88 to 92 laps. We have 90 to go as we speak under caution. Well, this next-gen car is different from the most recent cars, so with not running a full fuel run at Phoenix with the next-gen car, maybe that fuel window isn't completely accurate. Those are all just based off of guesstimations, calculations. We don't know for sure. Cerebral Assassin, welcome into the chat. Cheap Thunder 247, welcome as well. Just woke up. LAX airport gas is $9.33. Oh my gosh. I was when I was in LAX, well, in Los Angeles, I think the most I saw was like $5.10 when I was paying attention. I might have went past gas stations that were more expensive than that. That was the week of Auto Clubs. That was 2 weeks ago. It's insane. Austin McVeigh, welcome to the stream. Danica just can't stop talking about herself. I'm listening to the commentary, but with commentating the race itself, I can't pick up on everything that they're stating. So when I talk about like the production from Fox, it's basically solely off the production. It's not the actual commentary itself, because with me doing the commentary and I'm talking as much as I possibly can to give you guys whatever information possible, I'm obviously missing things. Miles Smith, Wyatt Netsley, welcome to the stream. Almost 200 people watching. Danica's on Ricky's radio. Is this true? If that happens, you guys will get to hear it live on the channel. You guys will definitely be hearing an interview from Martin Truex Jr. when he gets out of the infield care center, and I'll play that for you guys. Just about 200 people watching. Subscribe, like, the notified, LOL. Well, thank you. Yeah, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as Sam B just did. For more daily NASCAR content. All 200 of you should do that. AP Sports says I'm the absolute best streamer now. Oh, I thought he said now. My bad. He said I know, Keegan. Keep up the fire vids, man. Thank you. Pit road will be open this time. We'll see who will come in. I'm sure everybody will make it in. It'd be foolish to not pick, considering they may make it on field to the end. We've seen long green flag runs today. This could end under green flag. This could be the final restart. We haven't seen that long of a green flag run yet. The longest has been right around 60 to 65 laps, but it's still possible. So this may be the money stop if we do stay green. Ryan Blaney has that number 1 box. He's in third. The pit crew hasn't been great all season, including losing 3 spots on that last pit stop. But we'll see if they can win the race off of this one. Definitely can't afford to lose any more positions with how much track position has mattered today. Brendan Dawson, welcome to the stream. 70 Chip, welcome. Rather listen to you. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. 3-wide race off of pit road. Further back, Chase Elliott wins the race out of the pits, and Blaney's crew has costed him again. 6 spots lost for the 12 team. They're going to roll out 9th. Chase Elliott wins the race out of the pits. Chastain and Briscoe both up 4 spots. They'll be 2nd and 3rd. Harvick will be 4th. Well, even with the number 1 pit box, Ryan Blaney's crew still finds a way to lose him 6 spots on pit road. They really need to... I mean, they picked it up last week, but they're right back to where they were at Auto Club this... Well, they're not quite that bad. I don't think they'll ever be as bad as what they were at Auto Club a couple weeks ago, but it's abysmal how slow that crew is. They were slow last year, too, but out of the gate this year, they look just as bad, if not worse. I'd say worse, honestly. We obviously know Blaney's got the fastest car in the field today if he has the track position, and the problem is he doesn't have that track position now. He'll be restarting 9th. He's led 143 laps today. I also mentioned in the pre-race that it seems like the races that he has dominated and led a lot of laps, he doesn't seem to find a way to win, but I felt today would have been the one he could have pulled through and done just that. Still have a long ways to go, 86 laps left. Well, it's a long ways when you look at the fact that there's 86, now 85 laps left under the caution, but at the same time, this is a short track. These laps fly by pretty quickly. Chase Elliott, by the way, ran his fastest lap of the race during that last green flag run. The only other driver that could say that that's in the top 10 right now would be Kyle Larson. Tyler Reddick also lost a lot of spots on pit road. He ended up coming out in 12th. He went in second, so Blaney had a bad spot, losing 6 spots, but Tyler Reddick loses 11 spots on pit road. And his chances of winning today are not completely out of the realm, but he's got some work cut out for him. He's been 5th to 7th on speed all race, so him getting that track position, having a great restart the last go-around, he's going to need another good one here. Justin Haley got the free pass also during that last caution. After Martin Truex Jr. slammed the outside wall in turn 2, that's what we're under the caution for. Definitely pursue being a commentator for NASCAR. I can guarantee you'd be better than Darrell Waltrip. Well, he's a color commentator, so it's a little uncomparable, but I appreciate it, and that's the goal. Single lug nut has created a 9-second pit stop, yeah. Expected the stops to be a bit quicker. We were seeing stops in the 11-second barrier, and that was super impressive, even with the 5 lug nuts in the old car. Here's Martin Truex Jr. with Jamie Little.
To the wall pretty hard. You've been checked and released, but any indication there, Martin?
No, not at all. We'd been getting really loose all day on the longer runs, so I just out there trying to take care of it there. We gained a few spots in the restart and was just trying to take care of the rear tires. So yeah, I don't know. I'm coming off of 2 there. I'm kind of neutral free, and then all of a sudden it's just like shot straight in the fence. So must have cut a right front down running up there in the glue or something.
Thank you.
The glue. Okay. Well, we've heard PJ1, we've heard traction compound, we've heard grip strip, but now we have heard glue. I have to start referring to the traction compound as glue now. Thanks, Martin, for that comment. That was Martin Truex Jr. again with Jamie Little following his wreck that brought out this caution. Well, see what Blaney can do on the restart. He's going to be on the outside lane, so it's going to be hard to gain spots on the bottom. But the outside has definitely been the preferred line once we get going on the restart. It'll be Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe, 2 of the Chases on the front row. Elliott will be on the outside again. Briscoe will be on the bottom. Chastain and Harvick in row 2 with Chastain on the bottom, Harvick on the top. Vice versa, Harvick on the bottom, Chastain on the top. Through the Geico restart zone, green flag is in the air. Elliott with a half a car length on Briscoe. Briscoe goes all the way down onto the apron, trying to get the advantage on Elliott. Nearly clears him into turn 1, and he is clear. Great restart from Chase Briscoe in the 14 as he leads at Phoenix with 83 to go, looking for his first career win this afternoon. Harvick going to the bottom lane into turns 3 and 4 as he rides behind Chase Elliott, who also goes to the bottom to try and protect. Ross Chastain gets by Byron on the outside for 4th. A bit of contact between Chastain and Harvick off the exit of turn 4. Chastain got into the back bumper just a bit of the one. Blaney boxed in, and he's lost a few spots off the restart. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick both getting around, and Blaney back to P13. And 3 wide right now with Reddick and Busch underneath him. Second time Chase Briscoe has led today. Both times we're following a restart, but he wasn't able to hold on for long the first go-around. We'll see what he can do with the track position on Elliott and Harvick as we run now. Blaney has just passed 3 cars in less than a lap as he gets around Kyle Busch now for 10th. Bowman on the bottom, right in line behind Alex Bowman, or behind Larson, his teammate in the 48. Blaney ran the outside the corner before. He'll get to the inside of Bowman into turns 1 and 2. On the bottom lane. He's not going to be able to clear Bowman. He'll have to fall in line on the outside behind him before he loses spots to Kyle Busch and others. Kurt Busch is far up in the running order as he's been today as he battles Denny Hamlin for 13th on the inside. Right now, 6th all the way back to 15th. It's just under one giant blanket. after the restart, while the top 5 are all within about a 1.8 second differential of each other, with Elliott still 0.3 of a second behind Chase Briscoe, the race leader. Bowman with a good run on the bottom, and not as good as Blaney on the outside through 3 and 4. Blaney will roll to the outside of the 48 car, and he should be able to clear him down into turns 1 and 2. On that preferred outer lane, Bowman rounding the bottom. Bowman got to pinch Blaney off in the middle of the corner and somehow maybe slipped up a bit. Bowman stayed on the inside a bit longer than I anticipated, but now Blaney is clear into turn 3. Blaney up to 9th, right where he restarted, but he fell back to 13th. We'll keep the eye on him closely as he tries to get through the field. Briscoe widening the gap out on Chase Elliott at the start-finish line. That last time had about a half a second on him. Still 77 laps to go. We are just within the fuel window to make it to the end of the race. Following our 6th caution of the day for Martin Truex Jr. crashing. Another rough day for Toyotas. Joe Gibbs Racing. 2 of them have been involved in incidents. 1 is out. The other's 2 laps down in 27th. And then Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin now are both outside the top 10 as well. They didn't start off outside the top 10 early in the race, but late in the race they have. Yeah, so according to Regan Smith, like you guys just stated down in the chat, Kyle Larson presumably having an engine issue. He's been in the top 10 most of the day, but he has really dropped back off of this restart now to 13th. Larson is way down on speed right now. He is losing 2 to 3 spots a lap, and he is noticeably slower on the back straightaway, getting passed by another 3 to 4 cars. And they're probably going to end up black flagging him before long if he can't keep up the minimum speed. If not, he may be even coming into the pits this time by, and it looks like he is. He's down on the apron in turns 1 and 2. And Kyle Larson will be on his way into pit road. Problems for the defending champion and the defending winner of this racetrack back in the fall. Engine issues have dropped the 5 car behind the pit wall. As Larson's shot to win this race today has gone by the wayside, Chase Briscoe's continues to grow greater as the laps wind on, as he is still slowly pulling away from Chase Elliott since the restart. Elliott's got a good long-run car. We haven't seen Briscoe lead even this many laps until now following a restart in this race. Another car on pit road, that would be Bubba Wallace in the 23. He was a couple laps down. Not sure if he's having engine issues as well, or maybe it's something else. All 4 Hendrick cars were in the top 10 before Larson's engine issues, now that Bowman is up to 10th place again. Yeah, Joey Logano back inside the top 5. And meanwhile, Ryan Blaney is already up to 6th. In a hurry. He's gotten around Byron, Dillon, and Reddick over the last few laps. Blaney is a man on a mission. If he wins this race today, I don't know if it's so much a team effort as what it is just him putting his team on his back. With the way they have lost a total of 10 spots on pit road across 3 separate spots today. Broken valve spring is the official call in the ruling on Kyle Larson. He is going back to the garage. His day is done. As his window net is down, we'll be getting, I'm sure, an interview from Kyle Larson. At some point, you guys will get to listen in on it. Ryan Blaney has also ran down his teammate Joey Logano, who has finally worked himself up forward a little bit more in the running order to 5th. Logano's having a quiet but good day in the back half of the top 10, at least early in Stage 3, but now, after that restart, driving up to 5th is in a much better spot than before. Blaney with a slide job through turns 1 and 2 to move across the front bumper of the 22 of Logano. Logano tries to cross over but can't get back to the inside. These guys are 4 seconds off the race lead. Again, battling for 5th. Logano to the bottom again into turns 3 and 4. Blaney the run off the high side in what Martin Truex Jr. calls the glue. And he'll pull ahead a couple car lengths now. Logano is in the rear view mirror. Keep an eye on the other Hendrick Chevys as this race winds on as well. Noticing their speed and knowing that Kyle Larson had his valve spring issue, causing his car to go behind the pit wall into the garage. Austin Dillon with a close call a couple laps ago. Got a bit loose. Lost a couple positions to both Tyler Reddick and William Byron in the process. "67 laps left. Fox going to a commercial. It will be side by side, though. We'll still take a running order of at least the top 10 here. Chase Briscoe is your race leader. Chase Elliott is in second, 1 second off the race lead. Kevin Harvick is in third. He's 1.5 seconds back. Ross Chastain in fourth, looking for back-to-back top fives. He is 2.8 seconds off the race lead. Ryan Blaney back up to fifth, rounding out the top five. He is 4.3 seconds off the lead. Joey Logano is in sixth. He's 5.3 seconds back. William Byron in seventh at 6.8 seconds off the lead. Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon are in eighth and ninth, both 7 seconds back. And then Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10, 8.2 seconds off race leader Chase Briscoe. Can we see a first-time winner of the Cup Series early in the season once again? Last year, we saw 2 drivers get their first career wins early in the year. This year, we might see the same if Briscoe could go to victory lane today, or even Chastain, who's in the top 5 again, also looking for his first career Cup Series win. Like and subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. The goal is 100 likes on the channel today. We are at 70. 224 people watching. We should be able to get over 100 likes today. And again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, as we have daily NASCAR content with live realistic commentaries every day, whether it's the real races on the race weekend as you're seeing today, or like you saw last week at Vegas, the Busch Clash this year. We'll have more along the way. Next week I'll be at Atlanta. So you'll see the race highlight video from Atlanta. We'll still have the predictions in the post-race, but those won't be live streamed. Those will be on actual videos on the channel. It means I'll be on the road that weekend. And we'll be back with the next live commentary of an actual race for the Cup race at Circuit of the Americas. Again, not next weekend, but the week after Atlanta. Ty Dillon has some sort of an issue, something flapping on the right rear of his car. He might have gotten into the wall a couple laps prior on the side-by-side commercial view. Fox's camera's keeping a close eye on Dillon. We'll go back to the full coverage. So yes, Ty Dillon did get into the wall. It was on that flat turn 2 where Truex had pounded the wall almost in the exact same spot. Dillon's been running right around 20th most of the day. He is on the lead lap. He had received the free pass at the end of stage 2. And he is currently in the 20th position exactly as we run. Tyler Reddick, who also lost a lot of spots on pit road, trying to work his way forward. Restarted 12th. He is in 8th. Working on Byron for 7th as they're side by side. Here's Jamie Little with Kyle Larson in the garage.
There, Kyle, anything that you did to lead to that you know of?
I don't know. I felt it 4 or 5 laps before it was just getting worse. But yeah, hey, that our Valvoline Chevy was pretty good. I thought we were 4th or 5th place car. Just was hoping to be a little bit better than that, but unfortunately the valve spring broke, or a valve spring broke. So hate that, but you know, everybody at the Hendrick Engine Shop is some of the smartest people out there. So I know they'll address the issue that seems like we've had here these last couple weeks with some of the engines, and we'll come back strong, reliable. So the good thing is we have fast cars, fast engines, and great drivers driving these Chevys. So we'll get some more wins here.
Thanks, Kyle.
So again, Larson taking out of a shot to win today with a valve spring break. said he felt it going away maybe about 5 or 6 laps before it ultimately was him pulling the car down into pit road and eventually into the garage. Chase Elliott is closing on Chase Briscoe now over the last couple laps from about a second off the race lead to 0.8 to 0.7 of a second now into turns 1 and 2 this time. Still have 57 laps to go. There is time for Chase Briscoe to hold on to the lead, but we know Elliott's had a very fast long-run car. Elliott has seen a couple of his teammates go to victory lane in each of the last 2 weeks, trying to make it 3 in a row for Mr. Rick Hendrick. Harvick on back isn't quite able to close in. Ryan Blaney is actually not as fast as Chase Briscoe currently as well. I think a lot of that probably has to do with clean air. Blaney's closing in on Chastain. He's only about a second and a half behind him. He's closing in on Harvick, but he's not really closing in on the top two of Elliott and Briscoe. Elliott is the fastest car on the track over the last couple of laps. Could be getting through lap traffic better again as well. Either way, the long run speed has pretty much gone to the 9 for the most part here today. $230 people watching. Again, like and subscribe for more NASCAR content. We are at 78 likes on the stream. We need to get that to at least 100 by the end of it. And we only have 55 laps to go. So Elliott closed in. Now 0.6 of a second off the lead. He is still closing. Now down to a half a second looking on the interval. Both on the screen that you guys could see down below, as well as those of you watching on the main Fox. Tyler Reddick, William Byron continue to battle for 7th place. Reddick has finally cleared him off the exit of turn 2. Hand out the window. Not sure if Byron really gave that to him or not, but nevertheless, Reddick has worked his way around. We know he's also got a fast car. He's ran 5th to 7th most of the day. Now he's back into 7th. We'll see if he can run down Logano in front of him, who has been pretty much outside the top 7 most of the day. I'm not sure why they're talking about the t-shirt war right now between Bowman, Busch, and Hamlin all of a sudden when all of them are outside the top 9. Why it's full screen over the rest of the competition, but oh well. Your son has a hack shirt. No, that's great. Jim Eastwood, welcome to the stream. First time viewer, well, welcome. Welcome you with open arms. Nunez Pinala, welcome to the stream. Or is it Pinilla? Might be Pinilla. It might be Pinilla. 2 L's make a E sound, if I remember right from my Spanish days in high school. Or Nya. Well, right now Chase Briscoe is leading. Elliott has closed in, and he is within probably 2 to 3 car lengths at the start-finish line. 50 laps to go. Both run in the middle to upper groove. Briscoe maybe just a tad higher in turns 1 and 2. Using all the asphalt necessary. Elliott to the outside in turns 3 and 4. Briscoe down to the bottom near the yellow line. We saw Chase Elliott run the bottom lane quite a bit when he had closed in on other cars and really do it pretty well. He's got a lot of grip and a lot of speed on the long run in that race car. And as he closes in on the younger Briscoe, well, I guess they're about the same age, but the younger experienced and lesser experienced Briscoe, we'll see if the former champ can maybe force him into a mistake to make it an easy capitalization. Again, these guys can make it on field to the end of the race. We still have 49 laps to go, so if they battle for the lead for quite some time and maybe burn their tires off a little bit more, look out for maybe Harvick, Chastain, and Blaney to close in. Blaney has picked up a second on his deficit to Chase Briscoe over the last few laps. Ross Chastain has also closed in about 7 to 0.8 of a second. He is under 3 seconds off the lead and closing in on Harvick for third. He's only about 0.4 of a second behind Harvick. So Blaney and Chastain are closing in on Harvick for third, while Elliott continues to try and close on Briscoe for the lead. He's 0.3 of a second back. Again, the 2 to 3 car length range. Not quite close enough to make a dive bomb move yet, but he is quickly closing on that. Chastain to the bottom lane that time through turns 3 and 4. Harvick ran the outside, but Chastain was not close enough to get underneath the 4 car. Blaney had to go around the lap car of A.J. Allmendinger, so he lost a little bit of time that last lap. He's about 2 seconds behind Chastain. So Ryan Blaney talking about his tight conditions with his race car and that the steering wheel is shaking a little bit. .48 still sitting in 10th. Not really on the move or moving backwards at this point. Be interested to see if my prediction's going to be right on him. I said he wasn't going to get a top 10 today, and he's right on that border. Kurt Busch is about almost a second and a half behind him. He's the next closest driver in 11th. And then Almirola, who I said was going to get a top 10 and keep that streak alive, is in 12th. This would be the longest green flag run of the race. If we stay green to the end, it would be just over 80 laps. Our longest green flag run before that was between 60 and 65 laps. That would have been to end stage 2 from the Christopher Bell spin caution midway through the second stage. Shouldn't have to make any green flag stops today. They are within the window to make it on field to the end. Caution came out right at the edge of the pit window, but by the time they actually pit and went green, we had just over 80 laps to go. The window was 88 to 92 laps, so they should be good to the end on fuel. If I hear anything, I will obviously relay that message to you guys. Kevin Harvick is also closing in on the leaders, as well as Chastain and Blaney, so you almost wonder if Briscoe's lap times are causing Elliott's lap times to be a little lesser as well, considering that Elliott is within that dirty air range if he runs the same line as Briscoe, and if he pulls out of line, he's just not as fast on the bottom. Unless he's close enough to try to get to the inside of the 14, that's really the only time you would want to get to the inside of the racetrack. Elliott diamonds the corner off, starting on the top, going all the way down to the yellow line on the bottom, while Briscoe somewhat did the same. He only dropped down to the middle. Elliott to the outside in turns 3 and 4, Briscoe down to the bottom. 40 laps to go at the line, and Elliott's got a much bigger run on Briscoe in the tri-oval through the dog leg. And will he take it to the bottom in turns 1 and 2? He takes it to the middle, drifts up high. Briscoe stays high all the way near the wall, all the way through the corner, while Elliott rounds it back down to the bottom. A lot of lap traffic coming up in front of the leaders over the next couple laps. Slower cars that are already multiple laps down, like Cindric Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, are all in the mix up here and could cause this battle for the lead to increase. And don't look now, but the closer, Kevin Harvick, is only 1.5 seconds off the lead. Chastain 2 seconds back now behind the leaders. Lap traffic on the bottom, leaving pretty much just one lane for Briscoe and Elliott to run in the high lane in turns 1 and 2. Things are heating up in the final 40 laps in the Ruoff Mortgage 500 at Phoenix. Lap cars are on the outside, maybe causing some dirty air on the 14 of Chase Briscoe. Elliott goes down to the bottom to get the clean air. Pulls back in line behind Briscoe. He wasn't close enough to get underneath him yet. Briscoe to the middle, Elliott to the outside into the darker PJ1/traction compound. Briscoe to the outside, Keselowski on the bottom. Briscoe moves up the track nearly into the wall. I think that was intentional. Just looking for every little bit of speed possible as the tension begins to increase. Fox going on their side-by-side commercial. We'll continue the live commentary. Again, quickly, the top 5. Chase Briscoe is the leader. Elliott on the back bumper of Briscoe in second. Kevin Harvick 1.4 seconds off the lead in third. In fourth place, it's Ross Chastain, 1.8 seconds off the lead. Then Blaney is 4 seconds back, rounding out the top 5. This could become definitely more than a 2-car race for the win, even under green flag conditions, if the battle for the lead continues. Now, they haven't really raced side-by-side yet, but the fact that Elliott's that close, he's dealing with a lot of dirty air. Both cars dealing with the lap traffic, and Harvick and Chastain have been a bit faster here as of late on this longer run. Elliott has a good long-run car, but he's struggling to get around the 14, and the more he struggles, the more of a chance Harvick and Chastain will have as long as Briscoe leads. And with Briscoe and Harvick being teammates, I'm sure one of those two drivers are going to try to find a way for one of those two to go to victory lane and try to keep the Hendrick Chevy and the Trackhouse Chevy behind them as much as possible. Primarily running similar lanes on the outside when there isn't any lap traffic. The only difference is off the exit of turn 2, especially that Elliott seems to round it out down to the yellow line off the exit a lot more versus Briscoe rounds it out to the middle when diamonding the second half of the corner off. On the outside, they just do a lot of lane changing. Sometimes they're on the bottom, sometimes they're on the top. I think more of it is Elliott just trying to find and pick a different lane from what Briscoe is running, while Briscoe's trying to mirror drive and pick the same lane that Elliott is running. Austin Dillon working his way back forward, making a pass on William Byron for 8th place. Alex Bowman closes in on both of those guys. A 3-car battle for the 8th spot currently. 32 laps remain. Nathan Dietrich, welcome to the stream. Go Blaney number 12, indeed. I'm hoping. Never broadcasted or commentated, I guess, a race on the channel where Blaney has won. Come close a couple times. I think the closest was Kansas last year in the spring when Larson launched him into turns 1 and 2 on the outside and Blaney got in the wall. It was that green-white checker finish. I think that was the closest. There's sometimes Briscoe, it's either he's all the way near the wall on the outside or he is dropping it down into the middle when diamonding that corner off. There's 2 lanes he's particularly sticking to at that end of the track. He has gapped Elliott over the last couple laps. Maybe a car length or 2 at the most, and that's about it. Justin Haley in the 31 will go another lap down on the bottom. Actually, that's his first lap back, so Haley's the first car 1 lap down. Last car in the lead lap would be Ty Dillon. He's still a few seconds ahead of Briscoe and Elliott. Harvick's still 2.5 back. Chastain's still 1.8 to 1.9 back. Now he's back to 2 seconds off the lead, so he slipped up that last lap. Ryan Blaney is still just over 5 seconds off the lead and hasn't really been able to close. In fact, Blaney's actually lost time considering he was 4.2 seconds back when that commercial first started, and now he's 5.2 back, so he's lost a bit of time. Car can't be as good in traffic as what it was with the clean air earlier today when he was dominating. So Larry McReynolds, again, I believe everybody will be able to make it on field to the end, but according to Larry McReynolds, that if there were to be a fuel mileage race to the end, it seems as if the Fords are having maybe a harder issue at trying to conserve fuel, and that was an issue with Fords in the past as well. Even with the Gen 6 car, it seemed like on the super speedways in the draft, whenever we had a fuel mileage race or something, that we would see something like that. As we have a caution now on the backstretch. Eric Jones has spun. and into the inside wall with the right side of his race car. He has 2 flat tires that are down to the rim. Jones brought out a late race caution with 3 to go last week, and now a late race yellow this week. Caution is out again for Eric Jones late in a race. This one with just 27 laps to go. He kept it off the outside wall. He was just really loose. But as he kept it off the outside wall, he spun right side of the car first into the inside retaining wall. I think when he gets that car back to pit road, he'll be able to keep it in the race. He doesn't have too much damage. But he's definitely going to lose a couple laps having to go the full length of the track with 2 right side tires down to the rim. And even the left rear is flat as well. He's only got the left front that's not flat on the race car. So late drama again. Timothy Leopard, welcome to the stream. Scott YT, welcome to the stream as well. Isabel Burton, welcome. Briscoe leads. He's trying to get his first career win. Chastain also in the ballpark. This is the caution that Ryan Blaney and Tyler Reddick desperately needed. They kind of stalled out in 5th and 7th place after getting forward a little bit on the restart. They restarted back in 9th and 12th after losing a bunch of spots on pit road, the caution before. Will it be redemption time for those 2 crews, or will they lose spots again during this next pit stop? And will we see 4 tires or 2 tires? Honestly, if you're Ryan Blaney, I would consider 2 tires only because that pit crew has been really bad all season. That pit crew's been so bad all year. I think it is well worth taking 2 tires and risking it at that point. And they do have about 60 laps on their tires, though, at the same time. That was the longest green flag run of the race by a couple laps that we have seen today prior to that yellow. So decisions will be made. 2 or 4 tires. Will anybody try to gamble and take 2? Kevin Harvick going to take 4. He was in 3rd place at the time of the caution. Chastain going to work with 4 tires. He was in 4th at the time of the yellow. Chase Elliott also going to go with 4. He was in 2nd place. Briscoe will shoot off of pit road. Blaney going to take 4 from that number 1 pit box. It'll be Chase Briscoe winning the race off of pit road. Kevin Harvick will be 2nd. Chase Chastain in 3rd. Blaney 4th. Chase Elliott, big loser on pit road. Not common with that pit crew. One of the best pit crews in NASCAR, and he comes out in 6th. 4 spots lost for Elliott, and that is a huge heartbreaker on pit road. But it'll be SHR on the front row. Briscoe and Harvick. Unless Harvick decides to restart behind Briscoe with the choose cone rule, that could be possible. Don Holmes, welcome to the stream. Hamlin will win. He's good. Fuel history. Well, everybody's good now on fuel because the caution just came out. They were able to top off. I thought they were good beforehand anyway, but they're definitely good now. Fuel mileage is out of the question now. Well, we see cautions potentially breed more cautions. It is a short track. And we do only have 24 to go. This is our 7th caution of the race today. Justin Haley again will get the free pass during caution number 7 like he did with the caution with the 19 car earlier. As soon as they cross that start-finish line, it is going to get wild. We're going to see 3 and 4 wide, I'm sure, on the restart as we have all day long heading down into turn 1. But will they make it through without any major melee is going to be the next question. Hit the like, kid deserves it. Has earned it. Thank you. Yes, hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Streams like this on the daily. But with the live commentary for the real races, obviously only on the race weekends. Predictions, post-race, and more. We will still have a post-race live stream following the finish of this race today. They'll be getting 1 to go this time. Interesting to see what the lines will be chosen on the restart through the choose cone. Briscoe. Yeah, never mind. I don't think they got 1 to go that time. I was expecting them to get 1 to go that time. I don't think they did. So we'll wait it out another lap under the caution flag. Daryl Ford, welcome to the stream as well. Doing a good job, thank you. Go Blaney. I'm pulling for Blaney. If Blaney wins, you guys have never seen my instant reaction to Ryan Blaney winning before. I almost fainted at Michigan when I saw him win in person for the first time ever last year. If you go back and watch the race highlight video from Michigan, the camera shakes so much when he crosses the start. Like, I couldn't, contain myself. I was like, oh. Got a little lightheaded. I'm not going to faint on the stream. It's a little different when you're at the comfort of your own house, but I will get excited. I'll keep it as professional as I can until the checkered flag flies, but if the checkered flag flies and he is there, then... you'll see pure enthusiasm. Kyle Busch has a pit road speeding penalty on entry, which is weird under the caution, but nevertheless, Kyle Busch speeding on pit road. He'll have to restart at the back of the pack. He was just outside the top 10 prior to the caution. Chase Briscoe will be on the inside for the restart. Harvick to the outside. Interesting because Chase Elliott, when he was in the lead, was on the outside. Blaney had worked the inside well on the restart when he was on the bottom. But it was Briscoe who got to the lead on the bottom, and he wasn't even the control car on that last restart. So he has had success with it, wants to do it again. Blaney and Chastain in row 2. And we are setting up for a wild finish in the Ruoff Mortgage 500 at Phoenix. We'll have 20 laps to go when they go green. The pace car is on pit road. They're in the middle of the backstretch right now, and they'll be heading to the Geico restart zone shortly. On the inside, in the first 3 rows, it'll be Briscoe, Chastain, Reddick. On the outside in the first 3 rows, Harvick, Blaney, Elliott. Harvick has not won in over a year. Briscoe has never won in his career as well as Chastain. Blaney, Elliott have been strong today. Blaney's led the most laps. Green flag is in the air. Chastain going to go 3 wide to the inside. He gets underneath the 14. 14 is worried about the 1 of Chastain. He leaves a lot of the top open for Kevin Harvick. But Harvick is not going to be able to pull clear. Blaney gets squeezed nearly into the wall by Tyler Reddick behind them. It's still side by side for the lead with the 2 drivers looking for their first career win. Chastain and Briscoe. Briscoe is clear into turn 3 on the bottom. Briscoe is clear. Moves up. Chastain is underneath him again. Chastain with a second ditch effort to the inside. Now down to the apron, into the dog leg as they shoot into turn 1. He's not done. Close to a win a week ago. Trying to take it away from Briscoe. As he pulls up the track, he's not clear. They make contact off of turn 2. They're still drag racing down the back, and here comes Reddick, who also is looking for his first career win, sitting in 3rd. Briscoe clear off of turn 4. Reddick to the outside of Chastain for 2nd. What a restart for Tyler Reddick as he goes from 7th to 2nd in 3 laps. Up the middle goes Reddick. Briscoe to the outside. Chastain to the bottom on the yellow line. Briscoe is clear, but it's still Chastain and Reddick who are side by side for 2nd place. Off the exit of turn 4, Reddick still cannot clear the 1 of Chastain, and it's allowing the 14 of Briscoe to slowly pull away. Chastain nearly gets into the left rear corner panel of Tyler Reddick as they enter into turn 3 once again. Turn 1, rather. Reddick clear off turn 2, and his eyes set are now on Briscoe. Chastain in 3rd alone. Harvick fell back to 4th. He has not been good when restarting on the front row, and he has another bad restart that puts him back to 4th. Blaney is back in 5th after restarting in 4th himself as well. Austin Dillon is 6th. Elliott 7th. Kurt Busch in the top 10 for the first time today. Hamlin out of nowhere is up to 10th. Chastain is now just over 1 second off the race lead. It's a 7/10 of a second difference between the top 2. There was some contact between Almirola and Hamlin down the back straightaway that last time through. Reddick has closed. He was a little bit faster than Chase Briscoe that last lap. The last lap as well was both the fastest lap of the day for Chase Briscoe and Tyler Reddick. Reddick is trying the bottom lane through turns 1 and 2. He has half of his car down below the yellow line, looking for any sort of difference in speed compared to the 14 ahead of him as they are running their fastest laps of the day. Ross Chastain also has run his fastest lap of the race in recent laps since the restart. So is Austin Dillon back in 6th. Track position has meant a lot in today's race. Is that what's going to win Briscoe this race, as he was able to fend off Chastain on that restart after being side by side for 2 laps? Or does Tyler Reddick have a shot to run him down late? The only lap traffic they will likely catch before the end of the race are the backmarker cars at the rear of the field. How spaced out will they be when they get there? 11 to go, this time by a 5 to 6/10 of a second lead right now for Briscoe over Reddick. Reddick goes to the middle to upper groove, Briscoe down to the bottom on the yellow line through 3 and 4. Side by side now for third as Harvick is caught back up to Chastain. Chastain on the outside, Kevin Harvick on the bottom. Blaney is right behind him in 5th. Blaney's had a good short run car today, but he's got a lot of cars to pass and not that much time left. Chastain was able to gap and clear Harvick running the outside through turns 3 and 4. Or it was Kevin Harvick on the bottom, not able to get the grip he needed off the corner exit to beat Chastain back to the gas. They are 1.8 seconds off the lead, while still the top 2 are within a half a second, but Reddick has not closed on Briscoe really at all since the restart. And stagnated between 5 to 6/10 of a second behind him the entire time. Harvick again taking a look to the inside of Chastain. He's consistently been ahead of him most of the race, so you would think Harvick is a bit faster than Ross Chastain. He's just not able to get around him right now. Trouble on the backstretch. Chase Elliott is in the inside wall, and we have a caution with 9 to go. Caution is out again. Chase Elliott has wrecked. And this race wasn't over before, but it's definitely not over now. Problems for Chase Elliott off of Calamity Corner Turn 2, where we've seen pretty much every accident happen today. All except for LaJoie's tire coming off. Elliott gets a bit loose, trying to throttle back down. He kept it off the outside wall, almost identical to Eric Jones' spin, which brought out the caution prior. Elliott might have actually kept his car off the inside wall. It looked like live when it happened that he might have grazed it, but I don't think he did. He made a good save. I don't think he flat spotted his tires either, because he didn't come into the pits that last time, but I would have to assume he's definitely going to pit before the next restart. I doubt anybody is going to pit in the top portion of the field here. We didn't go that long into the restart, about 15 laps, maybe a little less than that, between the restart and that last caution. Bill, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody into the stream that I have not called out here recently that is just tuning in late. 332 people watching this one. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 96 likes, but 328 people watching. We need to smash that like button. So exactly 11 laps on these tires from the time we restarted to the time Chase Elliott had spun off turn 2, bringing out our 8th caution of the race. AJ Allmendinger will get the free pass to get back on the lead lap in 21st. Pit road is open. Some drivers are pitting, but some are staying out, and everybody that pretty much pits was outside the top 10, which will likely not be in contention to win this race anyway. Briscoe didn't take off well in that last restart, but he was able to squeeze the one of Chastain enough to hold on. The top 3 have never won a race in their NASCAR Cup Series career, and you know they're going to be desperate for that first win. A win would also lock them into the playoffs as well. So we've had 3 different winners in the first 3 races so far this season. Highest running driver in the field that has won a race this season is Alex Bowman, and he's not even in the top 10. He is in 11th. Everybody in the top 10 has not won yet this season. Panda Express Challenge League, welcome to the stream, and thank you for subbing. Next live commentary of an actual race will be in 2 Sundays from now at COTA. I'll be at Atlanta next weekend for the Cup race. We'll be having ourselves the predictions and post-race analysis as usual, but the race highlight video will come into fruition from the grandstands. Grandstand view of the race highlights next weekend. Briscoe and Chastain both missed the playoffs a year ago. Reddick made it on points. Austin Dillon in 6 also missed the playoffs last season, and don't count him out of it. He's been top 10 pretty much all day. Anybody has a shot to win this one. They got the 1-to-go signal. Chase Briscoe again chooses the inside. It'll be Tyler Reddick on the outside of the front row. We'll have 4 laps to go in the restart. That would mean that in all 4 races this season, we will have a restart with 4 or less laps to go. It's just insane how that all plays out. And especially in a race like today where we haven't had as many cautions as the first 3 races this year, we still find a way to get a late race yellow. We've had 2 of them in the final 30 laps now. Lights are back out on the pace car. They will not be going green this time by. Safety trucks are still on the track. We'll try it again with 3 to go. I think I forgot to set my lineup. I think Blaney might be in my garage. I'm not lying to you guys. I think he might be, which is unfortunate because he was a must-have. I think he is. It's either him or Cindric is in my garage, and I can't remember. I forgot to change my lineup. So again, Briscoe will be on the bottom. Tyler Reddick will be on the outside of the front row. Inside row 2, Ross Chastain. Outside row 2, Kevin Harvick. In row 3, Blaney on the inside, Austin Dillon on the outside. Kurt Busch will be on the inside of row 4 with Logano on the outside in row 4. And in row 5, Denny Hamlin will be on the inside. Eric Almirola will be up high. 3 laps to go on the restart. 3 miles to decide the winner of the Ruoff Mortgage 500. Will they be able to make it to the white flag? If they do, whether it's the yellow or the checker, it would end the race. But we have 2 laps to get there first. And they will be 3 of 4 wide into turn 1. Maybe even more. We did see 5 wide once today. It was early in the race, believe it or not. We'll see. Into the Geico restart zone. Briscoe getting a push on the bottom from Chastain while Harvick pushes Reddick on the outside. Down under the apron, a much better restart that time for the 14, but the 8 is going to try to hold him tightly. Into turns 1 and 2, side by side. They are 4 wide further back in the top 10, but up towards the front. Reddick nearly gets into the wall. He goes wide. Chase Briscoe's clear off of turn 2. It's going to be Reddick and Chastain side by side for second. Blaney gets around Harvick for 4th. Kurt Busch out of nowhere is now battling Harvick for 5th. Chastain is clear for second place on Tyler Reddick into the dogleg. Into turn 1 with 2 laps to go, Chase Briscoe has about a 4-car length lead over Ross Chastain. Reddick with a crossover back to the inside. Can't stay there though down the backstretch as he sits behind him. Off of turn 4, the white flag will wave. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Contact on the front stretch between Reddick and Chastain as they battle for second. Reddick to the inside. Chastain up high. Briscoe pulling away off of turn 2. Still side by side between Reddick and Chastain. 1 car off the wall in the back. I think it was Kyle Busch. Off of turn 4, it's the Hoosier native, Chase Briscoe. Career win number 1 at Phoenix. First career win for Mr. Chase Briscoe. First win for SHR in 2022, and Chase Briscoe is a NASCAR Cup Series winner. He will be in the playoffs this year. First win for the 14 teams since Michigan in 2018 when Clint Boyer won a rain-shortened race. It has been 4 years since we've seen that 14-car victory lane. You know that crew has to be ecstatic. Harvick did get a 6th place finish. He ran top 5 and really top 4 most of the day, but he fell back to 6th. He was not great on the restarts, including that last one again. And a smoke show on the front stretch for Chase Briscoe. Winning at Phoenix. Interview with Chase Briscoe and others coming up. So Chase Briscoe with the win. Down on one knee, gathering his emotions, standing now on the roof of the car. Always great to see a driver get their first career win. This is the 2nd time now in the first 4 races. And with how Chastain and Reddick have ran this year, you'd have to assume their wins will be coming up also in the near future. But today, it's Chase Briscoe's time to shine. Celebrating with his crew near his car on the front stretch. So here's a rookie year. Well, Briscoe is in his 2nd year, but year of the young guns, that's for sure. Here's Regan Smith with Chase Briscoe.
Flags, a pit stop at the end. Your pit crew doing an amazing job. You, my friend, are the 200th winner in the Cup Series.
That's unbelievable. I was crying the whole last lap. I mean, this is definitely a team win, but just I got to thank everybody that's got me to this point. 7 years ago, I was sleeping on couches, volunteering at race shops, and was literally driving home to give up. And Briggs Cunningham and Carrie Scher and Beth Cunningham gave me an opportunity, and it's led to this. So unbelievable. So blessed to be driving at the organization of the team and the car that was my hero growing up. So to get this 14 back in victory lane, to do it with Mahindra Tractors, their first year in the sport, highpoint.com, Rush Truck Centers, Ford Force Racing School, everybody that's believed in me, it's unbelievable.
You have dreamed for years, as you mentioned, of driving in your idol Tony Stewart's race car. You looked a lot like Tony Stewart out there today.
Yeah, those restarts, I mean, we were sliding guys and everything else, and I hope the race fans enjoyed the race. It was unbelievable from my point, so thank you guys for coming out. We've missed you the last 2 years with COVID and everything else, so thankful to have you guys back. Without you guys, we don't have a sport, we don't get a race and do what we do for a living, so thank you to each and every one of you. I wish my wife and baby Brooks was here. Definitely special and one that's going to be remembered forever.
Chase Briscoe gets his first career win in Phoenix.
Congratulations to Chase Briscoe getting his first career win in the NASCAR Cup Series. We'll take a quick rundown of the finishing results and then more driver interviews on this live stream as we go forward. I think I might just do the post-race analysis here. It means we have a lot of people watching, and then try to find a way to, crop this out, I guess, to the end and then upload that later, I think is what I'm going to end up doing for the post-race analysis live stream. That way you guys could get the driver interviews in here as well before Fox goes off the air. Before we go through the finishing results, here's Jamie Little with Ross Chastain.
How would you sum up your day?
Like a day at the K1 track. It's that was so much fun to get to race like that at this level. Trackhouse Racing believes in me, and Advent Health and the Moose. These people, they believed in me early in the season whenever stuff wasn't going great, and if we can keep putting these together, that's so cool to race with Tyler and Chase. Yeah, I mean that's everything I've ever wanted, and my crew chief Phil Surgeon, people don't know how good he is. His adjustments this year have been so incredible, and he gave me exactly what I needed. We just came up one spot short, but I'm so happy.
Second straight top 3 finish for Ross Chastain in this number 1.
Third last week for Chastain, second in a runner-up this week, his best career finish in the NASCAR Cup Series. So Suarez made it. So on the final lap, what we did not see, Austin Dillon, they were battling for about 8th place. Suarez made a big block down the backstretch on Kyle Busch, who I saw made that move to the inside. In the process of the block, he got ran into from behind by Busch, which launched Suarez into the 3 of Austin Dillon. Dillon backs it into the outside wall. Dillon restarted 6th on that final restart, but again was in 8th place going into the final corner before getting turned in a chain reaction of events between Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain. Fox is on the commercial, so now's the time to go through the finishing results, and then this is our post-race analysis now. You won't have to go anywhere. You'll be able to listen to the driver interviews following this before Fox goes off the air, if there are any more. I'm not sure when their airtime comes to an end exactly, but you guys will get to listen in on that. Chase Briscoe wins by 7/10 of a second. Ross Chastain ends up in 2nd place. Again, this was Briscoe's first career win. Briscoe didn't lead the most laps, but he did lead a lot. 101 laps led today for Briscoe. Well deserving of the win. Tyler Reddick ended up finishing in 3rd behind Chastain, who finished 2nd, also at about 7/10 of a second off the lead. It was a close battle to the line for 2nd between Chastain and Reddick. Ryan Blaney will end up in 4th. He led the most laps today, was also the winner of Stage 2. He led 144 laps. Unfortunately, his pit crew had put him behind, and he was never able to gather himself back. Kurt Busch, out of nowhere, ends up with a 5th place top 5 finish. He was outside the top 10 all day until those final 2 restarts, but he worked the lanes correctly. He found his way through the 3 and 4 wide traffic on the restarts heading into turn 1, and Kurt Busch gets a 5th place run. Kevin Harvick ran top 5 all day. He ends up, unfortunately, losing spots on the final restart, as he did through most restarts today, finishing 6th. Kyle Busch put the team on his back, put in that 18 car into 7th place at the end of the race today after he ran inside the top 10 early, but then outside the top 10 most of the second half of the race. Still a good 7th place finish for him. He was the only Toyota alongside, only Joe Gibbs Toyota, I guess, in the top 10 today. Joey Logano will end up finishing in 8th place. He ran top 5 briefly in the final stage, but for the most part, he ran back half of the top 10, if not outside the top 10 all day. Good 8th place run. Daniel Suarez ends up getting a 2nd top 10 finish this year, finishing in 9th. Both Trackhouse cars finishing in the top 10 for the first time in Trackhouse racing history in the NASCAR Cup Series. Chris Buescher will end up finishing out the top 10. He gets a quiet but solid run. He was one of the cars that ended up pitting for 4 fresh tires on that second to last restart with about 20 laps to go. And because they had that extra bunch up and that extra restart, he was able to capitalize and get a 10th place finish. Chase Elliott, who spun, bringing out the second to last yellow, comes back to finish 11th. He also had fresher tires tearing through the field on those last couple of restarts, but just shy of a top 10 even after running top 5 all day. Eric Almirola ends up finishing in 12th. He was a sleeper pick. I predicted to get a top 10 today. Unfortunately, he did not get a top 10, so I was wrong with that prediction. Denny Hamlin ends up 13th. Alex Bowman 14th. Alex Bowman was my prediction to not get a top 10 today. I was right on that one. He ran outside the top 10 most of the day. He was in the top 10 there in the final stage towards the end, but the last 2 cautions did not play his way. He wasn't that great on the restarts at the end. Ty Dillon with a 15th place run. Good for that Petty GMS team. Cole Custer ends up 16th. Justin Haley 17th after being a lap down multiple times. Got a couple of free passes, worked his way up there. Mentioned Byron got in the wall off the exit of turn 2 on that final lap. And he ended up finishing back in the 18th place position. Unfortunately, lost a bunch of spots there. Ty Gillen, the rookie, ends up 19th, and A.J. Allmendinger rounds out the top 20. Austin Dillon, after getting junked in the final corner of the final lap, running in the top 10, unfortunately finishes last car in the lead lap in 21st. Bubba Wallace finished first car 1 lap down in 22nd. Brad Keselowski 23rd. 24th was Austin Cindric. Eric Jones 25th. Christopher Bell 26th. He was 2 laps down. Michael McDowell 27th, 28th was Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton 29th, and Landon Castle rounds out the top 30. And 31st it was Cody Ware, Garrett Smithley 32nd, 33rd was BJ McLeod, and then the drivers who DNF today finishing 34th through 36th was Kyle Larson. He had a engine issue that dropped him out of the race, finishing 34th. Mark Jurks Jr. crashed off turn 2, finishing 35th, and Corey LaJoy crashed early in stage 1. Had that right front tire come off his car. He finished dead last in 36th. 8 cautions today. Average race speed of 100.2 miles an hour. We had 6 different leaders in today's race. Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Kyle Larson all led laps today. $15 lead changes total as I counted here at the end. 15 total lead changes in today's 312 lap, 500 kilometer race. Regan Smith standing next to Tyler Reddick. Our next driver interview. I find the controller.
Long and all day long, just a little bit short at the end there. Looked like maybe on the restarts, just not quite as good as Chase.
Oh, I thought we got a really good launch considering all things. Being right there with him going into 1, but I knew about how deep I could drive it in turn 1 all day. I thought I got pretty good heat in the tires, and I still overstepped it. I couldn't have driven any deeper than I did, and I thought I was still going to get up in the fence. Chase was able to just drive it off in there, kind of like dirt racing, and clear high and take the lead. So it was a lot of fun. It was great to claw back from hiccup we had earlier in the race. Everyone on this Guaranteed Rate Chevrolet did a really, really good job all day. We had one little miscue that took us from 2nd to 12th, but my pit crew did an amazing job. They got us right back out of that hole, and we had one good restart there at the end to put ourselves in position. So it was a fun day. It was a nice day, a nice way to recover. Nice to recover from a mistake that late in the race, and still be battling for the win there at the end. So all in all, great day. We'll see what else we can learn from this and get ready for what lies ahead.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, I didn't even really recognize that in the finishing results, but down in the chat I see that Billy Kramer had stated that the Hendrick cars didn't finish well. There were 0 Hendrick cars that finished in the top 10 today, despite the fact that all 4 of them were in the top 10 at one point in the final stage. Byron hit the wall off turn 2 on the final lap, fell back to 18th. Kyle Larson had an engine issue, dropped him out of the race while he was running in the top 10. Chase Elliott was in the top 5 and then ended up spinning while he was in 6th place late in the race. Came back to finish 11th, but still not a top 10. And then Alex Bowman, who ran outside the top 10 most of the day, was there late in the final stage at least, but did not get a good last restart, finished 14th. Chuck All with a hot take there. BM Camp etiquette for dummies. Can't blame Chase Elliott for trying. Oh, yeah. I mean, can't blame him for trying, but at the same time, to have that spin late in the race like that while running 6th, that's just trying a little too hard. It was similar to how Eric Jones wrecked last week, running 8th with like 3 laps left. Sometimes you just got to take the top 10 finish and take the consistency, especially for Chase Elliott's sake. He hasn't won a stage yet this year. He hasn't won a race, so he's got no playoff points so far through the first 4 races to fall back on for when the playoffs come back. Finishes like that could cost him in the regular season point standings. Every point is going to matter throughout the course of the season, even under the playoff format. Yeah, I mean, it was a good race. Chase Briscoe, the 200 different winner in NASCAR Cup Series history. Pretty interesting. It was a good race. I think it was an average to good race. Track position mattered a lot more in this race than any other race, and that's just kind of Phoenix in general. Even with the PJ1, the traction compound, it's still like that. It's primarily not a one-groove track now. It is kind of, I guess, one-groove track. It's just so hard to pass. So when Briscoe got to the lead on that final restart, granted he did pull away quite a bit on that final restart, it was pretty much all said and done from there. Once he had cleared Chastain, even on the second to last restart, it looked like he was going to go on to victory lane. Reddick was within a half a second, but in the dirty air, he just couldn't close as quick. Dirty air is still going to be an issue with the next-gen car. It's going to be an issue in any form of racing. It was even back with the Gen 4. It's always going to be there. So track position is always important for that reason. So when you go to tracks that are a lot harder to pass, like Phoenix, Pocono, is going to be a track like that, Michigan. You know, those kind of tracks, those are going to play into effect any road course. It's really going to matter, and that's why pit stops, that's big. It's a team effort whenever you have a good run in NASCAR for a reason. Ryan Blaney, for instance, he led the most laps today. His picture lost him spots on almost every single stop. I think the last one they gained 1 spot. I think that was the only stop that he either maintained or fell behind. I don't think he went in as the leader. He came out as the leader at all on pit road today. Still waiting to see if there's any other driver interviews. I think they're going off the air at 7:12. I'm surprised they didn't do it right away. But congrats to Chase Briscoe winning. Anybody down watching this? We still have over 100 people watching the post-race. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 111 likes on the stream right now. I think we got up to 1.6 subscribers today. Very close. We're 7 shy of 1.6 thousand subscribers. Definitely subscribe if you have not already. Peteski78 says Hamlin stinks. Hamlin was not good today. Comment down in the chat below whether you weren't able to watch the race or not, what thoughts you want from me as far as maybe driver throughout the... Well, I guess one thing we do have to do, we have to go through my predictions as we do every post-race video, and then we got to go through the fantasy. So I guess we'll do that right now. So as far as the predictions went, for the most part, pretty good this week. My must-have predictions are right on. My must-have picks for your guys' fantasy teams were Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, and Blaney finished 4th. Harvick finished 6th. Blaney led the most laps. He won a stage. Harvick was in the top 5 all day. Nailed it. 2 for 2 this week. That puts me at a 500 record, 5-5 on my must-have predictions this year. So way to work myself out of a hole now this week. The predictions are looking better. My dark horse / sleeper predictions. 2 drivers that I said would get top 10s today that were potential dark horse or sleeper picks. Eric Almirola came close. He finished 12th. He ran just outside the top 10 most of the day. Very briefly, he got up to 10th place. Really, where he finished was about where he ran most of the second half of the race. 12th place. He was 11th or 13th a lot there. I was hoping that maybe on a late race restart like we had, he would get the top 10 for my prediction to be right, but that wasn't the case. I think those drivers on fresher tires that got around him, like Elliott and Buescher, were the main reason why he wasn't able to actually get that top 10. But unfortunately, I was wrong with that prediction. I was also wrong with Austin Cindric. I was way wrong with Cindric. He finished 24th today. He ran 20th or worse most of the day. Stage 1, I think he finished 14th. Outside of Stage 1, though, he was 20th or worse most of the day. And that's actually shocking considering that Logano and Blaney were both in the top 10 all day. Harrison Burton was like right around 30th all day on speed. That was weird, too. So it was kind of hit or miss with the strategy, I guess, with the Penske or Penske-affiliated cars. I guess Cindric is a rookie. That is a lot of pressure to put on a rookie in a Penske, even in Penske equipment, to run well every day. I mean, he's in the playoffs as a rookie. That's something not a lot of drivers have been able to do, even in the 16-man playoff format. The only other one I can think of that actually did it was Cole Custer when he won at Kentucky a couple years ago. But even out of the gate this year, Cindric's still showing more consistency than what Custer did in his rookie season. So, excluding today, of course, out of Cindric's case. Till the 14 to get that win. Well, he did get the win. Yeah, he can do that. Oh, it looks like The Simpsons is on Fox right now, so we'll turn that off. Get him muted in my ear also, so I don't have this. I literally have the Simpsons theme playing in my ear while I'm trying to talk. All right. And then the final prediction that I had in the pre-race predictions was Alex Bowman did not get a top 10 finish today. He was the only prediction on my don't have list, and I did get it right. He did finish 14th, and he ran outside the top 10 most of the day. He had a shot there late, but those late cautions kind of hurt him. He didn't get great restarts. He was battling for 8th at one point there towards the end as well, so... Any online racing coming? I don't have iRacing or anything like that, so no on that aspect. Our next NASCAR video game race will be tomorrow night on the channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on that one, and it will be NASCAR 21 Ignition. It'll be our 12th race of the season on that side of things. I believe, if I'm thinking correctly, it will be Dover, if I remember right. I can check, actually, real quick. Actually, if it is Dover, I might wait on that. Because Dover's supposed to be a 50% race, so I'm probably going to save that for a work night. Let me check. Now I got the theme. I still have the Simpsons theme song stuck in my head, even though it's not playing anymore. Alrighty. Darlington, sorry. Okay, so we will have it tomorrow. So tomorrow night's live stream will be NASCAR 21 Ignition. It will be at Darlington for the Goodyear 400. So our Darlington throwback race will be tomorrow on the channel for the next full race live stream with a realistic commentary. So that will be on tap tomorrow. Can't wait for that one. Oh, wrong thing there. So that will be the next live stream on the channel tomorrow. We'll take a look at the fantasy before we get out of here tonight. And then any late thoughts from you guys down in the chat that I'll probably react to as well. The fantasy team. We'll exit out of here. I think I unfortunately have Blaney in my garage. That was my fault today for not paying enough attention. I'm going to be upset if Blaney's in here. Yep. Oh my gosh. I feel bad for myself. I had Cindric in over Blaney. I could have swapped those two. Blaney would have been the highest scoring driver on my team. I can't believe I did that. That's my fault this week. I wasn't even at the track. Usually when I'm at the track, I'll blame it on the track internet because that's usually why I can't get in. With this, I could have gotten in. I just didn't do it. I did it during the live commentary last week, but I didn't do it this week. Yeah, so Blaney was in my garage. Otherwise, he would have been the highest scoring driver on my team. I did have Kevin Harvick. He obviously scored a lot of stage points. 11 of them had a 6th place finish. Denny Hamlin did not do well like I thought he would. He finished outside the top 10. Eric Almirola outside the top 10. No stage points for him either. I thought he would do better. Obviously, I had him predicted to get a top 10 finish today. I had Kyle Busch on my team. He also did not do as well as I thought, and Austin Cindric didn't do as well as I thought. He was another sleeper pick, but I could have at least taken Cindric out for Blaney. That would have scored me 30 more points than what I actually had. So that definitely costed me. Enough looking at my stats, so let's look at you guys in the league. Now, obviously, post-race inspection is still going on, so this could change, but assuming that everybody has gotten through post-race inspection, let's take a look. I believe this is this week at Phoenix. Yeah, it's not official yet. Alright, so it's on the right side of the screen. Top right of the screen. You should be able to look at it. So on the top right of the screen, you'll see the fantasy. Again, you can join. It is free to join. There's 95 of you watching right now. Free to join. All you have to do is be a subscriber of the channel, and you have a chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race of your choosing in 2023 if you win either the regular season or playoff championship. Now, I know you missed the first 4 races. You're probably not going to win the regular season championship, but you can still qualify for the playoffs. And to qualify for the playoffs, you just have to be in the league. So might as well get used to how fantasy works over the next 22 races before that and try to put yourself in the best position possible. This week, Justin Haley fan is the top scorer with 199 by 1 point, beating out Jordan 1199. Sauce Mafia and Austin Dillon fan ends up finishing in third with 197, so the top 3 within 2 points of each other. Inside Uranus, our current points leader, has another good week, 190 points. He'll probably end up keeping the points lead following this week, and then Juan with 184 points this week. So pretty solid. And it looks like I was 14th. If I would have had Blaney in there, I would have had 184. If I would have had Blaney, I would have been tied for 5th. So that's my fault. That's my fault. I should have been tied for 5th this week. I should have actually had my bounce back week. Unfortunately, I didn't. That's sad. Still a long ways to go yet, but I'm disappointed with how I've done in fantasy. And well, I mean, 1 week I didn't take my advice at Auto Club with my dark horse picks. I did not take my advice, and then this week I just did not have a good run. So that's pretty bad. Who is leading in the league? Inside Uranus. It's not going to update the overall league standings. This was coming into the week. Coming into the week, Inside Uranus has 613 points scored. Pretty decent sized lead over the Plow V3 with 538 coming into the week. The Plow V3 was not in the top 5 this week, so he's going to lose some ground. Inside Uranus was 4th this week, so he'll grow on to that lead. I'm probably going to drop back, sitting in 12th. We currently have 16 people in the league that have played at least 1 week out of the year so far. And we have 25 members total. If we do get up to 100, I'm going to remove the people that have not played. So just a reminder for you guys to make sure you play this week. Or any week. But that's when we get to that point. Hopefully we do get to that point. Yeah, closing thoughts down in the comments section. That's YouTube. Closing thoughts in the comments section. Anything you want me to quickly react to that we have not gone over yet in the post-race. Aiden Rowland, welcome to the stream there. Also, Tom Brady coming out. I just saw that. He's pulling a Brett Favre. I mean, this is literally a Brett Favre move. This is literally a Brett Favre move, 2.0. Retiring and coming back. I don't know if he's probably going to have to reconstruct his contract with Tampa because I don't think he's signed on with them right now. Enough of that, though, as far as the race, though. Raindrop, I watched 90% of the race. I got distracted. Scrolling back. Was able to watch the first 60% of the race. Don Holmes sending me that message on Instagram. I'll check it out. WTF kind of BS is this? I don't know if that's in a reaction to Chase Briscoe winning. Or the post-race. It might be the post-race. Who knows? Live commentary's over. The race is over. Fox isn't even on the air anymore with the race. So I can't show you anything. Even if I wanted to. Because they're not even on the air. I couldn't show you it anyway because of copyright reasons. But thank you for everybody tuning in here tonight. Silver Spoon Kid, LOL, someone is big mad right now. Yeah, that's tough for Austin Dillon to get in that wreck on the last lap. He was top 10 all day. He was back half of the top 10 all day. He got his way up to 6th before that last caution came out after Elliott had wrecked. Oh man, who brought out the last yellow? It wasn't Elliott. It was... Man, I can't even remember already. Was it Elliott? Yeah, it was. My bad. It was Chase Elliott. It was Elliott who spun. Setting up that restart with 3 to go. I was thinking he was the one before that, but that wasn't the case. Sucks how Truex blew a tire, yeah. We've seen that at Phoenix, though. It's flat. It's a lot of stress on that right front. Doesn't matter what car it is. And unfortunately, just did not work out for him. Tough day for JGR, though. Like, no Hendrick cars finish in the top 10, but JGR on speed. They're off this year. Kyle Busch got a top 10. He was the only one in the top 10 at the end of the race. But he didn't run there most of the day. He was in 12th for a large portion of it. Hamlin was like 15th or worse most of the day. Truex got up to 10th before he wrecked, but he was outside the top 10 for a large part before that. Christopher Bell had that tire issue, but even when he was, running, he was like 17th, 18th. Completely a non-factor. They had a lot of speed at Vegas last week, so there's a little bit of well, by a lot of speed, they had 2 or 3 cars that had speed. Hamlin was off last week, too. 23-11, Bubba Wallace was outside the top 25 all day today. Kurt Busch was outside the top 10 all day as well until somehow those last 2 restarts he got up to 5th. And I have no clue how, but he did. He still got a top 5. I think that's his second top 10 this year. But all 4 races so far this season, he has ran outside the top 10 like all day. Auto Club, he only got the top 10 because of a good restart late. He only got the top 5 today because of a good restart late. So at least he's getting points. I mean, that's the good thing. He's not getting any stage points, but he's getting race finishing points, which are points nonetheless if he's going to want to get into the playoffs this year. Especially when you look at guys who didn't win last year, who have already won this year. Briscoe, Cindric, because he's a rookie, obviously, but those guys weren't in the playoffs last year, and they've already taken up 2 spots this year. And then you see Ross Chastain having the good success he's had with back-to-back top 3 finishes. Maybe a win could be coming his way. Gideon Suarez has 2 top 10 finishes. He finished 9th again today. Top 5 a couple weeks ago at Fontana. Maybe he steals a win. I mean, these kind of guys win. Reddick made the playoffs last year on points. Austin Dillon didn't make the playoffs last year. He's been top 10 on speed this season. So, man, I don't know. You can't guarantee a playoff spot any year, really, but this year in particular. Like, this year, we could see 16 different winners. I know last year was a big topic of it. I think this year we could see it. I don't know how long the consistency could hold up for RCR and for Petty GMS So while they have their small good runs early in the season, or, not small, they're good, they're really good runs. While they have those good runs now, they need to capitalize on a win quick. Because those wins are going to be eaten up by guys that don't have them yet this year, like Logano, like Blaney, like Harvick, like Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Truex. Like, those guys are going to get their wins eventually. Looking forward to Atlanta. I am too. I'll be at Atlanta in person, so again, no live commentary next week. Next live commentary will be at COTA. The following week, I'll be at Atlanta, but we'll have the race highlight video and then predictions post-race as usual for the race weekend. Good day for Stuart Haas. Make Tony sleep better. Yep, 14's in. Harvick showed great speed today. Harvick's now got 3 top 10s in the first 4 races. Almirola's got 3 top 10s in the first 4 races. He's finished top 12 in all 4. Because he had a 12th place finish today, so... Stuart Haas Racing already a lot better this year than what they were last year. Custer's lagging behind still. He was better the first couple races this year. Today, he was not. His teammates were top 12 all day, and Custer was like outside the top 20 most of the day. So that's a little concerning, and considering how bad he was last year, too, finishing, 28th in points. Custer could be on the chopping block at the end of the year. I don't know who you would... you would replace him with... Ryan Preece. Well, no, because Almirola's leaving this year. So if Almirola's leaving, Preece is going to take either the 41 or... Almirola retiring at the end of the year might save Cole Custer another season. Might. That would be the only way he stays with SHR. Good commentary, bro. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, again, like and subscribe for everybody. I say it a lot. I only say it a lot, really, during these live commentary streams. I say it a couple times throughout any other stream we do during the week, but... these ones, we obviously attract more viewership, so I try to get that. I think going into this week, like over 60% of people that have watched this channel in the last 30 days are not subscribed, so definitely subscribe to the channel. You're watching, and I appreciate that, but subscribing goes an even longer way as well. All in the end to hopefully get into the booth down the road for real NASCAR races. We hit our goal for likes, 116 today. Not quite as many as last week. We didn't get as many viewers either. I think we got up into the 360s at one point. We had over 400 last week, but still a big day nonetheless. So I greatly appreciate all you guys coming out and enjoying the race, listening to my commentary, enjoying the commentary, of course. And I will see you guys. Tomorrow night will be the next live stream, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NASCAR 21 Ignition, our throwback race at Darlington on our final season of NASCAR 21 Ignition there. And we'll see if we can get my man Ryan Blaney into victory lane tomorrow because he was unable to do so today. I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.